Hey, what's up, people? What's up? It
What a
is 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the show is Equilibrium. As you can see, we are at half strength. I think Terrence be coming in, but for something that came up an emergency, Anzo won't join us today. But we have him in our thoughts, and hopefully everything's good with him. If not, Anzo, last time I talked to him, he was only 2 subs away from 100. So let's please get him to 100.
Woo.
That's his first milestone. Then, of course, we want to get him to 1,000s. So that's going to go towards him getting monetized and also getting his 4,000 hours. But
Hell yeah.
What's up with you, Mr. John?
Not much. Just Sunday fun day. Just finished watching the newest episode just about an hour ago. And just trucking through the hours as per usual.
Well, let me see. I'm gonna send a quick text out to Jermaine or Terrence rather.
Look at that. He's always working. Even on the stream, he's working.
Yep. But anyway, we're gonna get started on the show. So tell me, what did you think of this latest episode of Stargirl?
So what was it? Episode 9? I believe it was titled
Episode
Brainwave, I believe.
That is correct.
You know what? I really liked this one. I thought it was not a lot of action going on. There was a little bit with Yolanda, but for the most part, a lot of character development, nice calm episode, kind of putting some pieces on the board, if you will. I really enjoyed it. I thought the acting was like everybody did a really good job, and they limited the little brother to like one line of dialogue, so it was perfect. Let's see. So pretty much how this episode played out, we are back with Henry at his mansion home, and we see the origin of Brainwave and how he got his powers and his first incidental kill.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to see Henry get to piece it all together with all those tapes. So there was it was a nice big origin slash.
I was not mad at how they did that. I thought it was very well done how they did the origin.
Well, that was pretty good. The only thing I kept making fun of was the weird filter that they decided to use on his recording thing, because obviously we all know that the generic square lines with the record button and the thing is kind of a trope, but they kept doing this like weird, like it like went grainy and it like altered his voice and stuff. I thought that was
I was thinking that I thought it was like some of his power or something causing
maybe
it to,
like fucking with the camera or something.
Yeah.
I could see that. I was just like, it just feels kind of corny. Like they were like trying to be like, see, it's old timey. You remember VHS tapes, right? Yeah. And let's be fair, I hope he rewound all those. Otherwise, he's going to get a fee.
Oh yeah.
That was cool though, going through and kind of watching the like kind of
the transition. How he said each kill he got more and more confident in his abilities.
Yeah,
because he's real cocky when we first see Brainwave on the show. So we see how he came from like mild-mannered geeky,
almost like kind of just like timid and almost like I don't want to say weaselly, but like just really kind of just like lacking self-confidence, just really kind of mousy. And I guess no pun intended, since he used himself as a lab rat, so that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it is kind of neat to see that he accidentally gave himself the power, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
so
and it took balls because, as we see, like 3 out of the 5 rats were living, and the other 2 were like dead because I think they had little green dots on their head, lights blinking, and the last 2 was red. And I was like, oh, that ain't good.
That was good, and it gave it definitely. Again, I think we're just watching a lot of rushing in the show just because they're trying to get a lot done in one season. It was nice to at least have the tapes and kind of see him kind of like rotating the stuff around him with his mind. So at least it kind of looks like he's trying to gain control, but he's not quite there yet. So it's nice that it wasn't just like a Rey Skywalker. Ray Palpatine deal where he just kind of happens to pull everything off confidently and just kind of keeps figuring stuff out. I like kind of the theme. I wonder if they're going to be able to delve into it since there's so much going on at the same time, like with the idea of like people are monsters and stuff like that. Like if he's really going to have this like duality in his conscience of whether or not he wants to be good or bad. So that'll be interesting because he ended up the episode with his first accidental kill as well, which I don't even know if it was accidental, to be completely honest. So that's going to be interesting to find out.
I think you talking about in the parking lot when the guy was trying to rob him.
No, Henry doing it at the end with the lawyer. I'm curious if Henry meant to do that or if he just got really mad and did it by accident.
I think he's definitely listened to what Stargirl told him. She said, on the surface, things seem one way, but if you dig a little bit deeper, because that's why he kind of, when Wildcat came in there and she was like saying, I hate you, and then he kind of probed a little bit deeper, and he heard her say, I trusted you, I loved you.
Yeah. See, and I was kind of hoping they would stretch that out just a little bit longer, because especially the moment when he walked through the hospital and you're hearing about all the pain, and then obviously like one person's like, oh, I hope she croaks because I want the car and the house and all the crappy stuff. I was kind of hoping they were going to do like back the other way while he was leaving the hospital. He'd run by some of the same people and dig a little deeper and find out like he thinks they should, pull the plug on his dad because like he doesn't want him to suffer and shit like that. Like maybe see that they're not completely awful.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting, but I think they're gonna. Hopefully, I think they're gonna play around with it in the next episode. Again, I think they may be rushing stuff just a little bit because with the dad waking up right at the end after the kill, I was kind of hoping they were going to drag that out.
Seem like he remembered it. So he may not have the power. That staff might have neutralized the power or blocked it or something. We don't know yet.
That'd be interesting. Well, because I was curious, because it's like, yeah, maybe the dad wasn't talking to him. Maybe Henry heard him, like when he heard his dad's voice in his head at the mansion. Mm-hmm. I'm curious if that was the dad reaching out or if that's like him just happening to read his dad's thoughts from really far away.
I'm not sure.
Because I was kind of hoping there was going to be this weird thing where like he didn't want the dad to be in the hospital anymore, and he was going to like take him to the hospital, and they were going to communicate via telepathy while he was still in coma for a little bit longer. I thought they were going to go that route, but apparently not, because he woke up. So I'm
kind of curious too why Dragon King's not trying to help him more, since he's a scientist / doctor. It's like he be trying to secretly sneak in there and maybe give him something. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, you mean help out Brainwave?
Yeah, because before they found out the son had the same powers, then he's the most important part of their plan, because he's supposed to be able to power that machine or whatever that Dragon King is building.
Yeah. So
it was seen. I know they sent the Fiddler or whatever the hell her name is in there to try to help him. But I was like, well, why isn't he doing it? Because, I mean, he makes so much improvements on himself and on his daughter.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. No, because and obviously you would think he'd want to speed up the process. Like he seems like a guy who wants to be a little more hands-on, even though he's lurking in the dark and whatnot. Yeah, I guess maybe just because due to the way he looks and stuff, maybe he just can't, like physically just can't be there to do anything. Or I guess maybe he got to a point where it's like, why bother? Let's bank on Henry and see what happens, because it'll be easier to manipulate a child than
I agree.
Stuff. So I think a lot of that stuff, I think they handled that really well. I was liking all the stuff. I really like this actor who's playing Icicle. I totally dig this actor.
I've never seen him before or anything.
Yeah, me neither. And I think he's probably one of the coolest villains I've seen in a while. Just like really calm and
like when he grabbed that hot dish, I was like, oh hell.
I was really annoyed with I was happy with like the whole like they were trying to create tension, but at the same time I was like, the way they did that whole thing was a little clunky to me, because it's like, one, why was she dumb enough to try and grab it out of the oven and burnt her hands anyway? I thought that
I think they did that just to set up
to set that up, which I was like, ooh, okay, I get what we're doing. It just felt kind of quick. And then it was like, okay, well, we did that. That's fine. I would have rather they hung on the on Courtney and just had her reaction, and then she said something after the dinner. The whole like getting up and going into the other room was just like really strange. It just felt it just felt kind of clunky. It felt like something they could have had a conversation. Like that conversation could have been happening in the basement when the mom came down and caught him.
I think that's more cartoon stuff.
Yeah.
That's something you read in a comic book or see on a cartoon.
Yeah, it was just kind of silly, but I get why they did it, because they just want to move it along a little bit. And finally the mom ends up down in the basement and catches them playing with their staff. No euphemism intended, but
I think that mom, based on a little bit of previews I saw, she's gonna be pissed off at Pat. I don't know if it's gonna cause divorce or some kind of rift, but
well, I'd imagine. I still can't believe after the car accident there wasn't more of that. Like that felt like
she just trusted Pat.
It was just weird. I was just like, because my whole thing is that she's a single mom and who, was been with Courtney for so long. When your only child ends up in the hospital, when you're gone off somewhere, when you leave them in the trusting care of somebody for the first time, and he makes a really stupid decision like that, there's more fighting than that. That she took that way, way too easy. And really the only reason why that bugged me so much is, one, because I think it's just, first of all, I think it's unbelievable. And two, it just felt like a big blatant thing after I've already been bitching about how like oblivious she seems in the way they write her in this show. But I'm kind of hoping now that she caught him, they're not going to have to do that anymore. It was kind of like the first like season or two of Arrow, when Oliver was constantly getting hurt and he's like, I can only have so many motorcycle accidents before people think I'm insane. You know what I mean? So, but I'm glad she finally ran into something, because I'm curious to see how that's going to move forward. I'm telling you, I'm waiting for something stupid to happen. So there's a big makeout scene with Icicle and the mom. That's what I'm banking on.
Yeah.
Feel it in my bones.
I don't know. Now that she know what her daughter does, maybe not so much. I think the daughter, if Courtney comes clean, because I'm pretty sure they probably will, Courtney tell her suspicious about him, then maybe not. Or unless she does to try to get closer to him.
Ooh, I could see that. Yeah,
but I don't think that.
And then we have like
love interest now that Courtney knows.
And they get like a potential like damsel in distress kind of thing with the mom, like they got to go save her or something. Yeah, I could see something like that.
You go, Terrence, right here.
Well, it's your boy.
What's up, bro?
What's up?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about being late. It was some complications with the humans.
Hey, no worries. I'm sure the chat is very happy to have you here late than never.
Yeah, it's gonna be just three of us. Anzo couldn't make it. Had an emergency came up.
But yeah, we're just rolling through some of the bigger points of the episode. What'd you think, sir?
Yeah, I enjoyed the episode a lot. The scene where Pat was looking at the picture of the 7 soldiers of victory, which I had spoke to you guys about before, that they might dive into that because of the Justin Arthur character. The picture was really nice, actually. It looked just like the one from the comics. It had the Crimson Avenger. It had the Star Spangled Kid, Stripe C, Vigilante, the Shining Knight.
Did they have any real powers, or were they kind of like Batman? Didn't have powers, or just had gadgets?
Most of them had either great intellect or great fighting ability. Like the Crimson Avenger, the Star Spangled Kid, even Stripe C, or if you look at Vigilante, they were all considered to be great fighters.
Vigilante dressed like the cowboy with the guns and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he also was a great marksman as well. So if you if you're in a tight pinch and you need him to hit a specific target where they say it's impossible to hit, like he'd be the one to hit it.
So he's more or less the Hawkeye of the crew.
Kind of, but I would say that his marksmanship is even better than that. Like any sort of shot that Hawkeye would miss, the vigilante would get it. And then you guys already know Green Arrow and then Speedy Roy Harper. So, like I said, like when I saw that picture, I thought it was amazing that it was the likeness was so good, and I really do appreciate stuff like that. And going into the episode as a whole with Brainwave Jr. and him watching all the videotapes of his father, I thought was really cool because I kind of put myself in that position. Like if I were trying to learn about someone, then I would do everything I can to study it, reading and watching things, which is something that I did for myself before my parents put me in actual training. So I thought that was very realistic for that character in terms of his determination to learn. And he just spent so many hours watching those tapes. And I was hoping it wouldn't be just he would watch one and then, maybe be upset by what he saw and heard, and then he wouldn't see the rest. And I'm glad that, they went into that. And then you see him kind of using his powers in the way that he saw his dad doing. And we got some deeper insight on the Brainwave character, which I liked. And just his overall view of the human species. There are some similarities with how I feel, except that, he actually hates them and wants to murder them. I'm not in that vein. I also don't like him, but that would just be that kind of big gap where he and I would disagree. So I found that to be interesting. And then how his son took that, like, man, I didn't know my father was like this. I didn't know he felt like this. And then you fast forward to when he was, reading people's minds and he heard a lot of horrible things. I thought that was nice how they utilized that, from the Henry perspective. Like how would Henry feel when he reads people's minds? Is he going to feel like his father, or is he going to feel another kind of way? And then Courtney kind of made me laugh when she went to talk to Henry, because while she has a good heart, I was just like, oh man, that could really backfire straight away, because you are approaching a character at a vulnerable time, so more than likely they're going to lash out with extreme emotions, which is somewhat what he did. But I could tell that he was definitely listening to Courtney, which is a good thing, that he didn't entirely dismiss everything that she said. So for someone like myself that is pretty keen on the Brainwave character and the inner workings of him, I like that they really gave us a lot of meat in regards to his son and his father simultaneously. And lastly, Dragon King, I like the way that, he dealt with his daughter. Because, I mean, she was talking about, let me out of here. I'm going to kill you just like mom. And then he just looked at her, walked over, and then she was like, yeah, see, daddy, I knew you wouldn't lock me up. And then he just closed it. He was like, man, turn on that fucking gas. That shit used to calm her when she was a kid.
I love that, like, just shows like he's been like they've essentially both been like this their entire lives.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I appreciated that about the writing, because, for the people that don't know, that was a good way for them to go, this is something that has happened many times. And he's so used to it. He's like, yeah, shut up, turn on the gas. Like, we good. Like, we're gonna implement our plans. And when they get into their full plans in terms of what they want to do and mind controlling people, I'm like, yes, that makes sense. That is definitely what they do. They either go about, I'm going to destroy everyone route, or I'm going to control everyone route. So I'm glad just the entire episode, it gave me more of what I wanted to see. There was respect.
Based on just what I've seen about their plans, wouldn't it be kind of boring? They already, for most parts, they seem to be rich and powerful.
Yeah.
They can get whatever they want, do what they want to do. Why do they want to control people? I'm not understanding that.
Because in the context of the show, it might reveal more as to why, but in the comics, aside from the JSA or the Seven Soldiers of Victory, or even like the All-Star Squadron, which is another group of heroes, they're constantly getting in the way, and they know that a lot of people either know about them or connected to them, so they feel that if they can control them, it will make it less likely that the heroes will be so ballsy to attack if they realize at any moment they can just have people either kill themselves or kill each other in an instant with a simple control.
I'm actually based on the way that they've been really fleshing out the characters. I feel like their motivations are actually a little more altruistic, and maybe also one a little bit more selfish. Because the way I'm looking at it is, you can tell Jordan's or Icicle's in charge for the most part. I would assume Dragon King's probably quote unquote the more powerful one, but he has a means to an end, and he wants to use Jordan to do his plan or whatever, and enact whatever thing he's going to do.
I don't think he's the most powerful. I think he's the smartest. I think Isaac was the most powerful. Well,
and then we could argue Brainwave
Grundy.
Well, in terms of sheer power amongst the group, you know, Brainwave would be the most powerful. He could just have them kill each other at any moment if that's what he wanted.
So I figure the motivation's going to be. I actually believe that Icicle believes that people suck, and Brainwave also is on that run. They want to make society better, and they feel like the only way to do that is to make it the way that they want it. And Dr. Ito believes that I'm imagining he thinks the human race is, well, that not only that, I would assume he would think that humans are inferior, so he wants to figure out a way to make them better as well, just on a scientific standpoint, and he can play around and do all this stuff and experiments he wants, while Jordan gets what he wants with like a society that he can control and meld in the way that he wants.
The thing that I like about not just whether it be the JSA or the Injustice Society or any of the larger, more popular DC characters, is that a lot of their stories require a lot of thought when you read it. You know, they often pull from reality, and then you'll get what you have surface level story. But as you continue to read it, then it's deeper than you imagine, at which point you find yourself conflicted between all the characters. Like maybe how you were feeling in issue 1 is not going to be how you feel when, say, you get to issue 5. So I think that they've carried a lot of that over into this series, especially with Jeff Johns fine tuning things because of the character being so close to his heart. So what you have is, with the Injustice Society, depending on the member that you are talking about, it's either you have the ones that are, I guess, really extreme, where they just want to kill people and cause terror for the sake of doing so. And then you have the members that want to convert people. Like, how about we turn them into one of us, or at the very least, use them to our bidding? Like, let's not waste the idea that we can use these people, you know, and with that kind of blend, you get sort of a wear and tear relationship, and you do get fighting within the group. You know, you get the you kind of see a little bit already. They're kind of looking at each other like, I don't know, like Ito, like, oh, well, that's not what I had in mind, you know. And I like that, you know, they're not all like, yes, I agree. It's like, you can look at their facial expressions, especially Icicle. He's like,
or just how cocky Sportsmaster is, or
right. And yeah, just like, he actually disrespects Dragon King quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, at the same time, though, like, once he says his smart ass comment, like, the group tends to look at him like, do you know, like,
you? Bro, why are you talking? Why are you talking?
Right. And usually when he does it, it sort of fades away quickly. Like, he doesn't like kind of pan on it too long. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's like, regardless of the disagreements, they know what each other are capable of, and that what would happen if you make so-and-so mad is just not really a good idea to make those individuals or that person your enemy when you guys are supposed to be working together as a group. But what I think what would be cool is, I don't know if he's dead or if they're not going to use him, but the Johnny Sorrow character, when it comes to power, he's pretty powerful too. Like in his ability that he comes from another dimension, and he was their leader at first before Icicle. So I don't know if something happened to him, but if he comes into the equation, like if you think that people are scared of various characters now, the Injustice Society usually like just kind of shiver at his presence because he literally can make you kill yourself just by you looking at his true face. So that could really spice things up too. Like if they ever get to a point to where they're failing and Johnny Sorrow comes out of nowhere, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's definitely a season 2 plot point for sure.
Well, I'm just like with these characters. I think again, I can't get over how strong that department is with this show, is really fleshing out these characters and their kind of their headspaces and kind of their motivations. I would honestly, I'm at a point where I'm getting close to willing to put them somewhere like in that Thanos area where it's this weird potential relatable motivation for this grandiose plan, regardless of whether or not you agree with it. It's kind of like, well, I get where he's coming from. Obviously, he's wrong in the way he's going to enact it and try and do these things that seem relatively altruistic. But at the same time, it's like, oh man, I totally feel for you. I get where you started and where your mindset is. You just kind of went the dark way. You know, when you found one of the forks in the road, you kind of went on the dark path a little bit. And it's fun to watch it develop, and like everybody seems to really have a part to play, which is kind of nice. Really, so far at this point, Sportsmaster and was it Tigress?
Yeah, Tigress. Yeah,
they seem to just kind of be like, you know, the dogs that they sent out whenever they're bored or whatever, versus like the other guys who are playing like 4D chess, that kind of stuff. It's really
right.
interesting.
That is exactly what it is. Like you have your top dogs of the group that exact more of the grand plans, and then you have the ones like, okay, go beat this person up real quick, and then they do that, and they do it very well when they send them to do that specific task.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to bring to your attention and Danny. Okay, so Danny,
Mm-hmm.
you remember the scene where Pat was talking to Courtney about the Seven Soldiers of Victory?
Uh-huh.
And he had his moment where he walked away, and then he said like, I don't even know where they are. I wish I knew where they were. That sort of moment for me, I kind of got a little bit choked up because like it's like the history of these characters is so deep that like regardless of if they tell you they're going to do a series or a series of movies, it's like they can never have enough, because these characters from dealing with different military branches and various wars and the multiverse stuff, like they've really been through a lot. And this whole like, we are family, they say it so much, and then when they get separated, like these characters are in intense pain, and they try to forget about it, but they're like, my brother is out there, that guy was like a father to me. And they desperately try to find them, and then you get these points where they can't, and it hurts them. So I felt like Luke Wilson in that scene, he really captured that in a way that I read it in the comics, and I felt like I wanted to mention that because I think it's important.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Danny.
I just think they're doing a lot of things right. I'm pleased with the show.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see how it's gonna go about. I'm still thinking like they only got 4 more episodes, so they gotta kind of speed stuff up, so to speak, in some spots where they can, because I don't know how they're gonna do Brainwave now that he's back. Because I know that machine that Dragon King is making hinges on Brainwave's power. So is he gonna have his power once he wake up, or is that staff kind of blocked that we don't know?
See,
I think
I like that
Courtney
theory.
sees the good in Brainwave Jr., and I think that she's gonna be able to convince him to join them. So I mean,
See, that's why I really like
know.
that. That's why I really like your theory on that. Like maybe because I really hope they don't do an amnesia thing with Brainwave. That would really bum me out. I'd be like, oh come on, like you're putting that character on pause. I like the idea of you taking his powers away, at least for a limited amount of time, because in that way you can really force that duality and that tension for Henry's choice of, like, you know, his dad wants him to be on their side while the good guys are trying to be nice. And then that was kind of my issue with the end of the episode, where I felt it got a little overpacked and I wish they would have saved some of it for another episode. Was with, I liked Courtney being there and giving him something to think about. And then you could kind of hear the dad. But then I felt when you had him finally kill somebody, I go, man, it's going to be hard to redeem the character now, because he just straight up murked somebody. Mm-hmm. And then you had Yolanda pop in right before that, right after Courtney, which I'm like, well, I get it, but it was so quick.
Well, here's the thing. On the first note, when Brainwave woke up, he remembered his son. So we know that he has, you know, some of his memory, even if his power is not there, because with him and other telepathic characters, any sort of extreme blows to the head can temporarily make them lose their powers.
Which so is what I hope.
Right. And in terms of Henry, it, to me, if some, like when he killed that man, it was an accident. Like he was mad, but he wasn't like trying to murder him. It was more of like,
it's what I'm hoping for, because I felt like we didn't get to sit in that, because then all of a sudden pan right, dad's up, and it's like, well, shit, did he mean to do that? Or
no, well, I know that he didn't, because after he did that, he looked horrified, which is not the intentions of a person that wants to kill somebody. You know, in the same way of, you know, when Superman snaps Zod's neck, it's not like he was like, yay, I did it. He started screaming because he took a life, you know. So if a character feels remorseful about something that would consider to be terrible by most, then to me, you can redeem that character. It's usually when they're just like, ha ha, that's what you get, and I'm glad you suffered. Then it becomes harder to redeem them, at least according
unless they're an anti-hero. If you're anti-hero, then the lines are kind of blur.
Well, in the case of the anti-hero, there's already a certain kind of precedent that's set, meaning that the person already knows that they're going to kill, but the difference being is that they kill bad people. So a lot of
Dexter or Punisher,
right?
Or
like
something like that.
A lot of humans, they may think about it and may want to do it, but they don't because of consequences. These characters are like, you're bad, you don't deserve to live. So most people, they see that as, yeah, well, I don't feel sorry for that person because they were bad. I mean, you might have a few people like a life is a life. That is so rare that you have that. Most of the time people are like, good, he needed to die. So that's a little bit different versus someone like, you know, Henry, he's neither good nor bad yet. And he just was in a certain situation where his emotions got the best of him at a power that he's just barely starting to understand.
Yeah. And I think that's what the tapes really, really help with, is like Henry got to see that path, like from where his dad started to where he ended up. So I think it'll be nice to have that in the back of his mind while he's eventually, because you know, there's going to be a little bit of back and forth between him and Courtney. Something's going to trigger him. Maybe Yolanda forgives him or something, and that helps pull him back or something like that. I like how everybody kind of had something to do, because even if it was kind of just like a throwaway scene or a throwaway line, at least gave a reason for why people weren't, like, you know, messing around, like making Beth and Rick like busy doing something. Right. I liked that. And Pat starting to trust them to do something, to put in the legwork and do the extra stuff. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was really nice. Like I said, that's why I like shows when they have so many flippin' characters like this. That's when the longer season would have came into play, because slow, methodical episodes like this, where you just get all of this backstory and a little more conversation and origin stuff and getting into the head of the characters, really, really helps with motivation and payoffs when they come later, because you at least sympathize with somebody when something happens, or you're really connected to a character. So when somebody really gets hurt, the consequences feel a little bit more personal, which I love episodes like this. So I really enjoyed this episode. They did a couple of silly things in it, but I give it a pass because I think this is one of the best like character developing episodes in the series so far, for sure.
I mean, when it comes to comic books in general, there is inherently a lot of silliness, which is why it took so long for the average person to embrace it. You know, like say for example, when I was a kid, and even before that, you know, you had Batman and Superman; they were fine, but just the overall arching theme of a comic book translated, most people are like, no, that's silly. Why do they look like that? Why are they talking like that? So they tried their best to sort of filter out the things that may be considered distasteful to the average person. But then they realized later down the line that you don't need to do that. You just have to figure out how to translate it into good storytelling so that way the average person can embrace it without feeling like they've missed out on thousands of comic books. And there's a very fine line with how you do that. And then at that point, once you develop a formula, I guess that gets most people on board, because you can't get everybody, but if you can get the large majority, then you sort of go with that formula, and then maybe down the line you might be able to bring that person around with via a different character or a different storyline. But these characters in nature are very fantastical, but the thing that makes them relatable is their emotions. You know, how do they feel? Are they angry? Are they sad? Did they lose a mom? Or is this person a cop? Is this person a doctor? And you have plenty of humans that can relate to those aspects, and you get them to really appreciate these sorts of characters because of that.
Well, I would always say it's especially nowadays, because usually the two biggest reasons, or the two best ways to try and make a comic book relatable, is you take the old stuff and you try and put it in a modern setting, or you try to be really faithful to the time that they're in. That way you can really have a handle. So like your suspension of disbelief is already set. It's like, as long as you give me this premise, like people can fly here and have laser eyes, you give me this, I can get you the rest of the way. And I've always thought about with comics and comic book characters, or just superheroes or like vigilante movies as it is, the whole point of how you get your audience is, can you relate or care about the person when they're not in the suit, when they're not fighting somebody or whatever, when they're in their day to day? Do I buy them as a person or a character? Do I relate to their struggle? Do I at least like them on some kind of just some kind of emotional level? So then when they get put in danger or they're forced to make a choice, I can kind of understand why they made specific choices, because all that character and thought process, I've seen them. I've gone on the journey with them, so I kind of understand why they would make a certain decision, which I think is really helpful when you're dealing with something so hyperbolic and fantastical, as you said. It really helps ground it and puts you in the action and feel bad, even though crazy lasers are going off and stuff like that.
Yeah, they. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Icicle though, because
that character, man.
Like he like I am telling you guys, when he gets really really emotional, like you guys have seen sort of hints of it, like him tracking down people that were responsible for the death of his wife. You know, those are more calm moments, but I'm talking about when he is visually just upset, screaming and stuff. He gets really terrifying. So like I think maybe towards the end, when their plan fails, because they're not going to succeed to a large degree, and if they do, they'll be stopped by next season. But when the plans start to fall apart, if they show how he gets, it should be pretty crazy, because he can even get to the point to where he fights his own teammates because he gets that upset, and he has these sort of tantrums, and then he'll bounce back, and then he'll be like really calm out of nowhere, and you're like, how do we deal with that? That's random. But then you see that it's not random though.
It's kind of like a rubber band. He'll stretch.
Yeah.
Stretch so far, and then once he stretched.
Right. That is exactly right. Yes.
I like how you just talking about him kind of having his temper tantrum obviously made me go back to essentially what kind of lifted him off. Like he already had plans in place, but like what solidified he was willing to do anything by any means possible was when the wife died. And he freaked out. And it really reminded me of something I've noticed because we lose the wizard's wife. We kill her, we kill that mom.
Keep talking. I
even
gotta step away for a minute, but keep talking.
Cool.
Okay.
And then we've already found out that Cindy killed her mom, right?
Mhm.
And then we have Courtney with a single mom. So I'm trying to figure out if we're finding out a trend in this. And Yolanda's mom is mad at her. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing a lot of that. And I'm really curious. And bear with me with a theory here because I like throwing these out because I like shows. Because like I'm saying, they're throwing out little pieces everywhere.
Right.
The mom picture for Henry in Brainwave's closet. I'm like, where the hell is she? And we haven't talked about it. We don't know if she's dead or gone. I'm assuming she's dead. I don't know if there was dialogue saying she was definitively dead. I'm under the impression that Brainwave might have killed her. And I think if Henry figures that out, I think that might be what definitively keeps him from wanting to be a badman. I'm very curious.
Henry is a good guy in the comics, or at least he becomes a good guy later. In terms of his mother, I don't remember too many details about her because a lot of the stuff that was read, it was like she was in the background, and it was really Brainwave and his son that were in the forefront. So it could very well be that Brainwave did kill his wife, probably by accident, I would imagine.
Yeah, hopefully,
right,
or something.
Right. Or maybe it could be that she got killed by someone else, and then Brainwave had to kill that person. Because with his character and the way that they're conducting him in the show, and then how he's been in the comics, it's like every time that he kills someone or comes across something that is evil, it's almost like he further gets detached from everyone. Just like, you know what, he's sort of like moving through time and space without really being there, like he's just in a different place. He's like, this is what I'm gonna do, boom, 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 boom. He doesn't really have to think about it anymore, which is why he's so distant from Henry. There's not like a lot of I guess obvious love. Like he loves him, but it's so deeply buried that you would have to more or less explain to Henry and others that love is there because it's not inherently obvious.
Yeah. No, and I think like, him being bedridden and like learning all these things about his dad, I'm sure I could see maybe there's bridging the gap between them potentially. Or maybe could you imagine like he knows that his dad has the powers and he's got him now and they wanted to work with it. And then he just finds out his dad really just doesn't give a shit about him. And that could be really interesting. Or like they've just set up so many things right now. They could go in any direction right now and it could potentially be satisfying no matter what. Cause it's just like, you really kind of feel for a lot of these characters, even though some of them might be shitty, they're all dealing with stuff almost on the same level. Cause you have the kids and the parents dynamic. It's actually really strange that we have two sets and we're seeing mom and dad and mom and son and dad and daughter relationship all over the place.
And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like when I go into like the lore of it, it's really, really impressive, John, in the storytelling. Like, people's cousins and their nieces and the sons and daughters, like it just this whole strong bond between the heroes and their people and the villains and their people. There is so much conflict there that the average person, whether they're into comics or not, I'm pretty certain that you're going to have at least one character that you care about. Whether that's a hero or villain depends on the person. But I would be very surprised if I can just sit someone down and show them all that and they have no interest in any of the characters. I find that to be very unlikely.
Yeah. Because there's just a lot of little pieces going on. And then you have let's talk about one of the best things in this episode. I want to reiterate it again. I did bring it up once. The greatest thing that this episode did, 110%, A++. Stupid little brother only had one line. That was it. Best part of the show.
I'm more lenient on him than you guys, only because his age and I feel like they're probably going to use him in a more important way. It's one of those things where he might very well get the Jin and everything that might happen. But I feel that whenever he does something that would be considered annoying or anything of the sort, I'm like, there's more to him, just like there's more to the other characters. Like when he apologized to Courtney, like I was expecting that to happen at some point because I'm like, there's no way that he actually meant that stuff. There's no way any more than any of us that have family members. If we were to say something horrible, it's like we don't mean it. You're in the moment and the emotions, especially when you incorporate a strong emotion like jealousy. I mean, I've seen humans
They
just
so did not earn that scene though, because they didn't even fight. That was the thing that kind of bugged me, is because like the kid's always cracking wise and being annoying, but like really they've never fought, and it would have been more interesting, like especially now with the end with the mom finding out. Which again, I'm glad she finally is in the know for the most part. I hope they don't try and bullshit that away.
no. You saw that he said this is the cosmic staff, so he's gonna,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and he's been wanting to tell her for fucking 2 episodes now. So it's like
Yeah.
I want her in the know because I'm sick of them writing her like this oblivious idiot. Like it's like, come on, she's not that dumb. So I'm really hoping that Mike will have to, because it'll be really, because we're gonna have that fucking scene where all 3 of them are hiding something from the brother, and he's gonna be like, okay, now what's going on? That's when I can see
yeah.
And that's when I can.
You know what? That might happen, but maybe that's probably how he'll end up getting the Jin, that they might want to offer him a spot or something. But but the thing is, the scene between Courtney and her stepbrother, to me, I didn't really view it as so much like this had to be earned, because I thought it was something simple because of the fact that they separated from that particular exchange so quickly. I'm like, he's probably going to apologize to her off screen or on screen, and they'll move past it because it's not all that serious. I expect more of a payoff sort of situation with something more extreme, like something where us as an audience with her and her brother is just like this. Oh crap! You kind of move in your seat, like what happened? And then you get something like that.
I just think it's funny that essentially our main family is the least developed, and it just feels like a big failure when it comes to the protagonist's family of this show. Because you look at Barry Allen from The Flash. It's all about his mom and getting his dad out of prison, and his relationship with Joe West, because he's not a biological son and all that, and like being in love with essentially his stepsister. And then you have like Oliver, who finds out his dad is not this good of a person, and he's trying to figure out about his mom, and finds out stuff about her and how that all goes down, and things with his sister. And it's like you have this character who's getting thrown into the step family thing, which is, a big deal for a lot of people. And especially in the age of high school, and you're moving, those are a lot of really big changes for somebody that age. And I feel like we've just skirted past those because we got to do the superhero stuff.
John, trust when I tell you that they have not done these characters a disservice.
I don't think so. I think the show's doing well. I just think it's strange that family is the least developed right now. I think is
well the specifically Pat, Stripesy, and then Courtney Stargirl, their characters continue to develop when most of those characters stop developing. Especially with Courtney. You remember how I told you guys about her real father, how he's actually a villain? If they get into that, then that will give her a huge story arc, which is very, very important. So she's the kind of character where she leaves little footnotes until she has to make large steps, and then you understand, like, oh, I remember this and that. You're like, oh, and then you become even more invested, because instead of them giving you all that at once, They're letting you digest it a little bit here and there, and then you're going to get something. And John, when you get that, when you digest it, like I feel like you will be satisfied in that particular area. But trust that it's coming. So don't worry about it.
I certainly hope so. And we got Danny in the chat since he's not on camera right now, but I want to read this out. It seems the good guys' parents care less about them. The bad guy parents seem to have more involvement with the children than the good parents do. I've noticed that too. I totally agree. The funny thing about it is, I think, except for Icicle seems to keep his son away from this stuff. The other parents, they all actively want to essentially use their kids, while the other ones don't want them or don't know that they're doing this other life.
But here's the thing, though. That's not entirely true either, because with the villains, sure, they don't want their kids to die, but you are talking about, number one, they're not around most of the time. Any of those sort of tender moments that those kids want, they never get, ever. They don't get that. It's oh, did you go home? Okay, do your homework, or did you do your training, or who are you talking to? It's very distant. And that is very damaging to those kids. They say as much in the comics. That's why they have their state of anger and confusion, because they want to be around their parents. And there's also a lot about their parents that they don't know. And anytime that they give them information, it's never the full story. And in my opinion, when someone doesn't give you the full story, they're lying to you. Like if you're like, oh yeah, I did this, this, and that. Oh, but you didn't tell me all of this.
I think sometimes if as a parent, you realize what your child can and can't take, and sometimes you got to give them spoonfuls instead of giving them the whole bottle.
When you look at like Sportsmaster and Tigress, they're at every game. They're talking to her and they're like helping. They're very involved, but they're overbearing.
So you have more relationship with it than the good guy parents.
But here's the thing, though, with Sportsmaster and Tigress, you're talking about. Okay, they are there at her games, but that's what they care about. They care about the physical components. That's all they're doing is pushing their daughter, train, win the game. They're killing coaches and stuff like that. But I'm talking about the more sweet moments that you get from average family. They don't do that. And like
Jordan is with his son.
Right. Like he's there. Like Jordan is with his son, but you have a lot of times where
the only one that seems to really care is Icicle. He actually engages in a conversation with his son.
He does, but there's also the stuff that he actively avoids, which his son wants to talk to him about. So he talks to his kids more than the other members, but there's a lot that he doesn't communicate to his son, which his son wants.
But we haven't seen that yet.
We have. Like, okay, you remember when he tried to talk to him about the whole mother thing and he told him to go to bed? That's one example. Anytime that he asks him if he's okay, the character is always conflicted, but he doesn't share that with his son. He always gives the illusion that he's okay, and he dismisses.
Yeah, but you can't go and tell your son, I secretly have powers, and I'm killing everybody that I thought was responsible for your mother's death.
I'm not talking about powers and things of that sort. I mean, just literally sitting down and fully connecting with your kid. And
his confliction is he's trying to take over the world.
I understand that, but
where he talked about his wife, when he met his wife for the first time and was actively about his love life and telling his son to go do this thing. I waited too long. Don't wait long. Go do that. And he's literally having a family dinner.
Yes. I understand that. I understand that Icicle has connected with his son more than the other villains, but it's only based on the things that he is comfortable about. There's a lot of stuff that he does not talk to his son about. And when his son,
the non-father stuff, the villain stuff.
No. Even the more personal levels. Like he doesn't fully engage. There's only the surface level. That's what his character does. It's always on the surface.
I don't know if I can agree with
that. It's only on the surface. Like this character does what he needs to do.
He's talking about
he did it with his father in the comics too. Like this character does what he needs to do to get to the next phase. He's going to hold back whenever he is interacting.
I don't think he's doing that with.
I'm not saying that's not true in the comic book world because I haven't read this and I don't know it intimately like you're doing. But as far as on the TV show, what I'm watching, he's engaging with his son on normal stuff that a normal parent would talk about. If I'm this super villain, I can't tell my son, I don't think he's ready for it yet. Hey, yesterday I went out and I was responsible for killing the wizard's son and possibly hurt those other kids. He can't talk to him about that. But stuff
that's not what I'm talking about. Like, see, with all the lies that he's doing, like the other villains, because they're all lying to their kids. They're all liars.
Well, not Dr. Ego.
Not Dragon King.
Well, yeah, not Dragon King, but he lies too. He's not completely honest with his daughter. Not entirely. But in terms of Icicle, he can still express sadness and depression and things of that sort without having to go into, we're planning on mind controlling people. I killed somebody last night. You don't have to do that. Now that will probably scare his son, but you need to go beyond the surface level. It's too surface.
I think the parents know what he's doing though. I think the parents know.
I don't know. I could maybe give you some of them because I think what's happening here, because we're really talking about the parenting and it's really interesting conversation that we're doing it with the fucking villains. So good on you, show. I think we're actually seeing all the different kinds of parenting styles from the worst to the best. So you have Dr. Ito, who essentially almost resents his daughter, can't stand her for the most part, from what we can kind of see. Then you have Sportsmaster and Tigress, who are extremely overbearing and really are trying to essentially turn their kid into just whatever they want. So they're overbearing and crazy.
She doesn't have her own identity. She's her parents and nothing else.
So then there's that. And then you have Brainwave, who's the guy who could know the most deepest, darkest thoughts that his son will have at any given time. And he's the most distant. And then you have Icicle, who's literally, quote unquote, the coldest person in the room, who seems to be the most endearing and emotionally available to his son at any given time. It's really interesting to see all of these different families
dynamics.
It's really interesting.
To Icicle, yeah, to a point, but I'm not going to give him full credit because I know that son of a bitch. Like, I don't trust anything that fucker does.
Well, he's doing a good job on me. He's proven it to me in the show.
No, he's not devoid of good actions and intentions, but it's just there's a whole lot of fucking people there.
He's just very duplicitous. He's very duplicitous.
All I'm saying is that I don't fucking trust him. I don't care what he says.
Of course not.
I don't think he's Mr. Goody Goody Gumdrop, but we're just saying as the show is portraying, he seems to be he seems to be the best parent.
I'd agree.
Yeah, okay. See, in that regard, then that's fine. Like, I guess if we're doing like which one is the best,
I don't think he's better than
I can't stress enough that these characters are shady, and also
Pat's trying, but he's not effective.
Yeah,
it's like in terms of Dragon King, he would be more fond of his daughter if she would listen.
Yes.
He's already said the things that he would like, what he would want her to do. Be patient, respect this, respect that. She doesn't listen.
I don't think he's a liar. I think he's told his daughter, if anything, the daughter knows everything. And I don't know if it was a mistake in the show, but I can't get over when the episode when Beth got the digital codes to go down to the basement or whatever. I'm like, Cindy had the code to get
Dragon King never reveals all of his secrets. There's always something that his daughter doesn't know and the Injustice Society doesn't know. There's always that thing. Now, sometimes they do reveal it in the story if it calls for it, and sometimes they don't. But he doesn't reveal his whole hand.
I think he's more the Batman of the Injustice Society. He is super smart, uber smart. He knows things. He puts things together, and he kind of just, if it's in his benefit to let the others work for or against his plan, he's very calculating. So I agree with you when you said that. I'm not sure whether or not he even saw Dr. Midnight go down there. I can't think her name, so I'm just going to refer to her character, Beth, go down there. But he seemed to have cameras all over the damn city, so I'm pretty
still blows my mind. That episode was full of a lot of really weird. I'm gonna say dumb choices.
A lot of stuff is just wait and see, right? Because you guys are approaching this from a fresh standpoint. You don't know, right? So you have to go off of what they tell you and what they show you, right? So a lot of stuff. That's why I have said many times, just be patient. They'll probably show you, or they'll talk about it at the very least, or hint at it or something. But these characters are very interesting because, like, when I'm sitting there and I'm just like, yeah, this is going to happen, and it does, or if they make minor tweaks, but it's not really far away from what I already know, I'm like, yep. And then when I hear and see things, I'm just like, nah, you ain't fooling me. Like, like, nope. So I'll have those moments, right? But like, in terms of Pat, like, I don't know. I guess certain people that are parents, which is a large number of humans, they may not agree with the way that he does things, but the way that he thinks is very different from all of the members of the JSA, which is why they love him so much. He is so calm about a great many things that even superheroes panic about, which is a weakness, actually. You shouldn't panic in any situation, but his ability to sit down and go, okay, this is what I should do, this is what you should do. And even when you get into these situations, which could be really stressful and frustrating, Pat is able to always work through it in a way to where even the heroes need time. And they've been able to translate that really well. But some may see it as like, oh, that's not really the best way, or that's not a good parent. But, Pat always shines through in the end to help all the individuals around him, and he uplifts them. That's why the JSA love him so much. So whatever is not shining through, I guess, to the audience, which is shining through to me, but I guess that's because I already know stuff. But his character is exactly what he needs to be for all those people.
Well, I mean, that's why you cast a Luke Wilson. You want the endearing guy who, doesn't look formidable and doesn't do any of that. He's more of the heart and soul of the team, kind of, dynamic, as comes up in movies and shows all the time. I guess one thing, since Terrence, you are the king of the comics, I was really curious about the scene with the janitor. When he had the hallucination with the mop, does he have a connection with that staff? Is it something like that's his, or does he just know of it?
I am glad you brought that up, because that entails a long history, but I'll say this, like, before his character lost his memories, he is deeply connected with a large amount of those characters, whether it be that he's had a lot of interactions, or at the very least one encounter or he knows of. So when he has his periods where he is trying to remember, he will get these crazy hallucinations and things where he can picture himself fighting someone or holding an object, and it could just seem so real. And then he'll just go back to like almost like, he's just in this state of like, wait, I had it, but I can't remember. And, it makes the audience feel sorry for him. Like, when you're reading about him, it makes you feel bad for him, because it seemed like he was so close, and then almost like some kind of mystical force yanked him back. But it's because he hasn't got the right dose of reality to snap all those memories back in place. And there's going to be a moment that does that.
PTSD or something like that.
Just I think the next episode is called The Shining Knight. I could be wrong, but
I think it's Brainwave Jr.
Is okay. Yeah. Like, I know there's supposed to be some episode where it's centered around him. And they said he's supposed to be doing something really big aside from what he's already done. So
I imagine it's going to be like the first to last episode, like the
probably.
That's going to be like, we're going to have this big reveal. He's going to come in the armor with the sword, and then they're going to be. Then the final episode's going to be like, okay, I remember shit. Let's do this right.
Wherever he comes in, whether it's in the middle or the end of the last episode, there has to be something that's going to bring everything back. Even if it's it could very well be just a conversation with Pat.
I can see that they're getting their ass whipped. It looks like it's going to be the end, and he comes in and saves the day.
Yeah, he can definitely do that. Like, from a combative standpoint, he can very I want to say, calmly and confidently take on Tigress and Sportsmaster at the same time and be fine. So it could be either a battle situation, like you said, they're getting their asses whooped, Danny, and then he comes in and ching, 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 he just laying people out and stuff. Or it could be that Pat's like, hey, Justin, how have you been? And then you get the moment where it seems like the frame freezes, and then you see all these images kind of quickly rushing at the camera, and you can't really make out a lot of what it is, but it's letting you know as an audience member that his memories are coming back. What you're seeing is all the things that he went through, and then you boom, then that's when it's there. That's what I'm waiting on.
Am I allowed to go a little meta here and make fun of Danny? I just realized I shared the link since we're live. I shared the link on the Twatters. You totally used the wrong thumbnail for the video.
What?
It's the chaotic conversation, which hasn't gotten very chaotic yet. I think we're missing the Onzo too much because the intensity. We're all being too nice. Terrence, tell me I'm wrong more.
Well, I mean, John, as you know, the only real time that I'm going to say that someone is wrong is if there are facts, and then they're trying to say that. But an opinion to me is not wrong. I mean, I guess at most, let someone know if I don't agree. But I respect what you say, and Danny and anyone else. That's why we're able to communicate, right? There's respect there, and we say our piece and things, and I guess at this moment, if you have, is there anything else that you wanted to run by me in terms of questions that you wanted me to try to?
It's difficult because this episode, I really think this was a solid episode. Again, it's me. I'm a fucking pussy. I love character development. I love knowing motivations of characters. So when the big action stuff happens, I care a lot more.
Yeah.
I just want to see what they do with Henry, with how they're going to drag him back and forth. I was telling Danny, I'm kind of sad that they woke the dad up. I was kind of hoping there was going to be this weird thing where he was communicating with his dad telepathically. So people started to think he was crazy, cause he was having full on conversations with his dad and, but he was asleep. I was kind of hoping for something like that.
I mean, to your point, whether it be Brainwave and his son, or say who was I thinking of? Shadow King and Legion, right? Whenever one of them is doing any sort of thing that requires a lot of telepathic power, it alerts someone else that can do very much the same thing. So in the case of Brainwave, with his son not fully being able to control the powers to the degree of his father, that would wake him out of his coma.
And you know something?
That telepathic energy.
I think this could be like a Magneto X-Men 1 thing too, because I'm feeling quite confident that Dragon King probably ain't telling Brainwave that his thing could possibly kill him. So if his son got the same power, then his son might be a sacrificial lamb, and he lives. Because I'm pretty sure that thing's gonna take a lot of damn energy. Is it something that's the strain gonna kill him, or weaken him?
Gets his powers back in the last second,
that's interesting. I suppose that's plausible, but I guess once that situation comes. Because with Brainwave, the way his power works, he can stretch it quite a great distance and control a lot of people. So I guess it would depend on, what he's doing, the length we're talking about in terms of how long, and then how much intensity is involved with the use of his telepathic powers. That may play into what you're saying, Danny, because if it does require a lot of energy, then it could get to the point to where he might die from it, and then you could get Henry coming in to help his father, and then maybe when he realizes what's going on, whether they get close to completing it or even completing it, then that's when he separates and goes to Courtney. I mean, they could play it out a number of ways.
Man, I don't know. I just a lot of stuff. I wish, God, it's honestly one of those times where I think you have an episode like this, it makes me want the full 22. I was like, man, if I could get another one with like Team Good Guys, like with all this development and stuff like that, it would have been so cool. Like, because we get it with the villains so much. Could you
Maybe
imagine?
whenever it goes to CW next season, they'll
Oh man,
extend.
you know they're getting their budget slashed. There's no way. I
Yeah,
guarantee.
yeah, they are because the DC universe has a higher budget, like Doom Patrol, Titans, and then Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's gone. But like, they have a higher budget, and you could see that with what they do with, especially Doom Patrol, like this recent season, what they've been doing with CGI characters and things. Like, holy crap!
Well, that show was
but
good from the get go. I
Yeah.
liked it a lot. I never got to finish it because I had got rid of the app for a while, and then I got onto other shows. So I want to go back and binge it because it's so solid. But then it's like this
well,
show.
you said that you like character development. That show is nothing but character development. It's all about the story.
Umbrella Academy was something I fell in love with, like 2 episodes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I like that stuff. And like with this, it's like, man, could you imagine if we were getting episodes for Pat, like every other episode, like going back and seeing his relationship with the JSA, just to see like maybe the good guys were flawed too. It would have been really awesome to see.
But the thing that I've brought to the attention of certain humans that I've talked to about this is that they need to keep in mind that Black Adam, the movie, is coming, which will feature the JSA. With DC, even though they can do whatever they want with any of their characters at any time, they don't have to worry about the stuff that Marvel has to worry about. With that said, whenever they plan on using one of the characters on the big screen, if the one of the TV shows is using members of that same team, when you're worrying about like, okay, well, what about this character in that story? They could be saving it for that movie. And they said that Dr. Fate is going to be in that movie. So that's probably why we're not seeing Dr. Fate on the show. You could sort of connect it back to each other.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm worried about a lot of stuff because like with them moving to the CW, the budget thing is going to hurt for sure. And then like
we may get more episodes though. We may get more episodes. They may have to rely a little bit more on storytelling versus.
I'll be fucking like, if they actually do that, I'll be fucking all about it. But I feel like that's
here's the thing though. While I had a slight concern because of that, but at the same time, as long as Jeff Johns is closely watching the development, then I'm not going to be worried because I will be able to tell right away. Like, say, it goes to CW, season 2, I don't know, give it like 5 or 6 episodes. I will be able to tell if Jeff Johns is not there anymore because of what they will do with the characters. Like, because there's a difference between going, okay, Jeff Johns, we want you to do this DC project. I mean, he's worked on a handful of different DC properties, but let's say, one that he's not attached to, it's like, you never know what that may end up as. But if it's like Stargirl or JSA material, oh yeah, he's going to make sure that is right. Like, even if, I don't know, luckily the average people have responded to Stargirl. They like it.
Yeah.
But
my thing is just how bad the Arrow thing went down. Like, Crisis on Infinitisms, like, man, what a shitty way to send Oliver out. Like, I just did not think that was good. Luckily, like, Arrow did a little bit better, like giving him the statue and the memoriam and letting
that was
Crisis
amazing.
Wasn't bad, bro. Crisis wasn't bad.
Crisis was amazing. Like,
they killed him twice and Diggle wasn't even there, and they had to say it. It was so lame. Not get a Diggle
when the Arrowverse first started. When they showed the newspaper and when they announced that at some point they're going to get to Crisis, which would be 8.5 years later, I remember there were some humans like, is this like random so they could compete with Marvel? I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, this was in development for over 8.5 years with entire story arcs. So the Arrowverse is so much vaster than the MCU anyway. I'm like, look at how many seasons Arrow has by himself.
I agree with that. I think the Oliver storyline took even though he was leaving, it took a backseat to all the spectacle, which wasn't even necessarily that great. I mean, people were punching the ghosts, all these ghosts that killed Oliver. People are like punching them. I'm like, come on.
Here's the thing. Like when it comes to that storyline, like I would have thought, okay,
The one time Batman on live action, that's and it had Kate Kane do it. Ugh.
Okay, but
forget.
I'll get back to that in a second. But like I would have thought like if they were like, Terrence, how do you want to do Crisis? I would tell them the only way that I could see that being feasible outside of you doing many episodes of a TV show, you would have to do a trilogy of films because that storyline is really big and it entails the entire DC multiverse, which is a large sea of characters. The importance of that storyline because they felt like, okay, this generation of DC readers, they may not be familiar with all these other characters and storylines. So we have to come up with the event that's going to combine them into one area, one place and time. And then eventually you can reboot it. But like, I thought they did a wonderful job considering how they had to adapt it within the confines of the Arrowverse. That was a very tall order.
Yeah,
so I'm just
I feel like they bit off more than they can chew. I just I felt like you should do the crossover and then do the stuff for Oliver in his own show or something.
Well, they did though. That like it because
what I'm saying is don't forget they were launching Arrow and the Canary, so they were doing all that future stuff. This last season, and especially when it was like a smidge shorter because of the crossover.
I don't even know if that's coming out anymore, unfortunately.
Probably. Oh no, I think they still said they're gonna wait till afterwards that it's essentially greenlit. But
like because they talked about Superman and Lois, so the bitch Superman from Supergirl, his stuff they already shot, but then
because I like that Superman, but I don't think they're gonna write him very.
I do not like that Superman at all. Like that is not Superman.
I don't like their portrayal of him in it.
Oh, the actor is fine. I mean, he needs to get like 30 pounds heavier to be Superman. I mean,
well, we're also dealing with like fucking Henry Cavill. It's like who's
no. He doesn't even have to get that big because Henry Cavill as Superman, he was like at first he was 190. He was
Brandon Ruth. Oh, granted, he got huge for fucking Crisis, I guess.
Right. But Henry Cavill started at 190, then he was 200, then he was 210. So in the case of this Tyler Hoechlin guy, I'm like when he was standing next to the other heroes, he looked really small. Like even Black Lightning was significantly bigger than him, and he's supposed to be Superman.
But I mean, it's his powers that make him like look at Brandon Ruth in Superman Returns. He was
I didn't like that either. I was like, what kind of small Superman is this? He didn't look like Superman, but in Crisis though, when he
Dean Cain wasn't that big either.
No, but he like in the case of Dean Cain, no, he wasn't that big, but he did fit the character better in my opinion. I was like, yeah, that's Superman. With Brandon Routh, I was like, nah.
Well, it's okay that he wasn't big enough just because you just happened to like him.
No, because he fit the character. Like when he was in the costume, when he was in the suit, I bought him as the character. In the case of Brandon Routh,
I love the Adventures of Lois and Clark.
Right. But in the case of Brandon Routh, I didn't buy him as the character. I felt like he was an awkward Clark and Superman. He just didn't fit. It just didn't work to me. I'm like, this is bad casting. Like when they casted him to be the Atom, for example, I'm like,
I loved him as Ray Palmer. I like him.
Yeah, Ray Palmer. I was like, now he's Ray Palmer. I'm like, that is who he should have been. But then when he played Kingdom Come Superman, he got bigger. He got bigger. He definitely got bigger. And then I saw like his little test screening. I'm like, there you go.
I want a Kingdom Come series with him. I really do. I think if HBO Max doesn't greenlight like a 3-episode Kingdom Come thing with him, I think that's a huge missed opportunity. Because if people really actually like the Crisis on Infinite Earths, some of the biggest things I hear about from that is the Flash crossover thing, which good luck with Ezra Miller. And everybody really liked Brandon Ruth as Superman. Like they thought he looked really cool in that outfit, and I'm just
he did. I'm like, that to me, I liked him in that, and I remember talking about it when I heard that he was going to be in it. I specifically said that I'm coming from a position as a guy that didn't like his movie. I didn't felt he fit as a character, so I was like, let's see how he does this time around. And that time around, I'm like, he actually fits Kingdom Come Superman. He embodied the character the way that he did his acting. It was done in a way that was absent when he did Superman Returns, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
I see Danny like touching his face over there, like he wants to strangle both of us. You all right over there, buddy? You need a nap?
Good, bro. I'm good.
You need a nap?
No, but I mean, but the whole thing with the bitch Superman, I'm just like, man, this dude, like, I didn't see this dude get knocked out in under 2 minutes. And this is the thing.
What do people call him? The cuck Kent? That's what I've been
hearing. Because he sucks. Look.
Like,
I think I told Danny this. I don't know if I told you this, John, but like, so I was coming home from a friend's house. I come through the door, I'm getting the food ready, get ready to turn on Supergirl. My mom, all she did was walk by and go, "Yeah, you're not gonna like this episode." I was like, what? I was like, what does that mean? I'm like, don't go into specifics, but why? And then she was like, just pay attention to Superman. I was like, oh dear God, what the fuck did they do? I watched that episode, John. He shows up, he's like, I am 100% of my power. Ah! He's like all screaming and shit. And then my dude tells me, he tells the audience, like, I have been infected by a kryptonite that makes me see all of my worst fears physically manifest before my eyes. So he's seeing Zod, Doomsday.
When did this happen on?
This happened on Supergirl.
Well, I ain't seen that yet.
Yeah, like it's one of the older episodes. Like, but he tackles Supergirl. They go through a couple buildings. They end up in the road, and it's like raining and stuff. And he's tired. And this is under 2 minutes. I'm like, so you mean to tell me a full-powered Superman, which doesn't happen, he got tired in less than 2 minutes? And get this, John. This is how the fight ends, right? So, John, picture the sloppiest punch that you will ever see in your life of him trying to punch Supergirl. She dodges it, and she backhands him. Like, I'm talking about, like, when you don't respect somebody backhand. She backhands him, and then he flies up in the air, lands in a puddle of water in a fetal position, defeated. That's how my boy went out.
Yep. And then they wonder why I keep saying Goku will whip his ass.
See, that's the thing, Danny. If somebody pull out that clip, Danny, I'm like, oh God. See, Danny, we both laughing because it's like, I'm like, of course they gonna use that, but I'm just like, Danny, man, that shit would be so unfair. They're like, well, according to this Supergirl episode, I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah. I'm gonna use that in my future arguments. That's gonna be it, there, buddy.
But to be fair to you, Danny, remember you were the only one out of all these damn humans that I talked to. Remember I told you, Danny, you were the only one that presented a possible way that Goku could win in an intelligent fashion. Remember I told you that?
Uh-huh.
All these other humans, they just were saying nonsense, Danny, stuff that didn't make no sense, and they act like they didn't see this scene or they didn't read that. I'm like, or they knew more about one character than the other. I'm like, no. Danny is the only one. Who's Danny? I'm like, that's my boy. He's the only one that says something intelligent in this particular conversation. Other than that, nope.
Appreciate it, but I'm gonna use that in my future arguments.
Danny, it's gonna drive them crazy because I know where you're coming from and I can laugh at it, but Danny, if you get some of them hardcore humans, no, you're a fucking idiot. That's not real. Like, man, Danny, you go get people heated, man.
That's okay.
That's what makes it exciting.
I'm gonna say here's video footage from Supergirl episode 17. Bloop.
Hey, as long as you come, I always tell people, like, my whole thing is, as long as you come with examples, like at least
that's what I do.
At least that way, like, even if you think I'm off base, at least you know where I'm coming from. You're just going straight up like, oh, it's the worst thing ever made ever of all time. It's like, oh, I can give you at least 5 examples.
John, John, the sad thing, I wasn't even done. Like, John, hold on. They follow that up immediately after the commercial break. Like, picture, I'm sitting there ripping off my beard hair, my head hair. I'm just like, this gonna be a dream sequence. This shit don't make no sense. And then this how they followed up. Picture this, like, this tender ass music, and Supergirl's on a balcony and she's looking out at the stars like, yeah, I'm beast as fuck. And then Superman comes out. He has the biggest Kool-Aid smile, and he's like, man, Kara, I don't know how you did it. And then she's like, yeah, I don't know how I did it either, cousin. I thought you were so much stronger. He's like, no, you were always more powerful than Kara.
To be fair, in the comics, they do make Supergirl more powerful in the comics, I believe. Like that's why Darkseid wanted her or whatever.
No.
Supergirl.
Don't forget. Remember in Crisis though? Remember in fucking Crisis when he's doing the same shit she is with the laser beams to like the fucking stupid tower.
That shit was stupid, and he fell out of the sky.
Out? Like, come on, man! Like, what are we doing?
Like, no, because see, look, in the Crisis,
I told you why they did that.
Because he's lame. That's why.
Because Supergirl was on Earth the whole time. He was on the other planet that didn't have
Argo or whatever the fuck.
I got the reasoning for doing that, but that still shouldn't happen that way. That was very infuriating.
Throwaway line, so it doesn't look like you're fucking just turning him into a bitch for fun.
And the thing is, in the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline in the comics, Supergirl did like last longer than a lot of the other heroes, and she got to a point to where it seems like she's gonna beat the Anti-Monitor, but she's not, because you're talking about even when Spectre came in and made himself an entire universe just to fight the Anti-Monitor, only to get his ass whooped with little effort from the Anti-Monitor. It was Superman that defeated him, not Supergirl. And he beat the Anti-Monitor with one punch. Now, that's that part where you're like, how come he didn't do that the whole time? And it was because that particular Superman from a different universe, he saw the Flash, Wonder Woman, all of his friends die over and over and over again. And he unleashed this scream that I felt when I was reading it. I wasn't even in this situation. I felt like he was yelling at me. And then he punched the Anti-Monitor, and the Anti-Monitor was like, I am so sorry, Kal-El. I will die right now. And then that's how it ended.
Excuse me. Excuse me while I die for you.
Exactly. The Anti-Monitor was like, "Oh shit, I am so sorry." Like,
can you imagine that? How many people you think stepped in a ring with Ali or fucking Frazier or fucking Tyson? They're like, "Bro, you want to just hit me once? I'll call it good. Like, I'll just go home." I'm playing Nintendo's Punch Out. Like, I go home.
Right. He was like, come on, Kal-El, them was jokes. I didn't mean to destroy the multiverse. Like,
bro, you can have my milk money. I'm so sorry. You can have my galactic milk money.
And then also just this sheer shock because the Anti-Monitor was like, this don't make no sense. I killed like 30,000 other Superman. How is this one so much more better? Like,
so much more. Did you just more better me? Come on, man. I'm gonna drop the hammer. But you know, I feel like we talked this episode, and we don't have Anzo here to help us. I feel like for once we're all kind of pretty much on the same page. We all kind of fucking dug this episode.
Oh yeah, we're blending very well.
I dig the whole series. I dig the whole series, bro.
No, I think it's good. This honestly made up for a couple of the episodes that I really didn't like. A couple of the things that I was really worried about, they haven't done yet, so that's pretty nice. They've hidden the stupid, if that makes sense. Like the idea of like there are some things that are being kind of kicked under the rug, but for the most part, they're moving fast enough that I don't care. So as long as the finale delivers for the most part, I think this season gets a good pass. It's definitely a lot better than anything on the CW right now.
No, I'm not going to say it's better than Flash. I'm not going to say that.
Flash lost me with the cicada shit. They were not, and I hate it, man.
And I'm also giving props to Black Lightning too. We're not stomping out Black Lightning now.
Yeah, you know, I think that's one that slept on, and that's coming from a dude who really has only watched the highlights.
Black Lightning has the best villain, I think, of all the shows. No, the villain there and Reverse Flash, they are neck and neck.
Flash. Yeah, and
Wait,
I really
John, did you say you slept on Black Lightning? Did I hear that?
I think a lot of people are, and I'll be guilty of it too. Because my biggest issue was the suits. I think the suits look corny as fuck, and
the first season, but now he has one that's kind of
No. See, that is a terrible reason to not watch it. Because I'm like, first of all, like I remember one of my friends, he said that about the suit, and then I remember just I think I unleashed like 20 pictures from the comic books where it looked exactly like that. I'm like, look, this is one of his. No, I'm like, look, this is how he looks at first, and then this is what he's gonna get, and you're probably gonna see him in this. So I'm like, watch the goddamn show. And then he watched it and he was like, Terrence, I am so sorry that I missed how epic this was because of his fucking costume.
No, we can't play that game because, I mean, you look at like Daredevil season 1. He doesn't even get the suit until the final episode. And then I'd argue the fucking suit it looks fucking dumb as fuck.
Since you use Daredevil on me, since you want to use Daredevil on me, you want to use Daredevil. First of all, in the beginning of the show, he was wearing the black costume. He was wearing a black costume with the black and stuff.
Yeah, I like
that. He wears that in the comics.
No, I'm saying I like that. And then when they had the red, no, I'm talking about when he got his actual the Devils of Hell. Devil suit.
Man, I thought it looked better than Ben Affleck's Daredevil suit.
See, and I made the argument. I actually kind of like that because it sounds really dumb. Bear with me. I like the idea of leather, and like it was, and I swear to God, it's not a BDSM thing.
No, Ben Affleck's costume looked good as fuck. I like how they did his costume. That shit was dope.
I like it too, but I don't like it. The other one was more practical.
But and I think in the other way around, it's because like I feel like because you could say you could put Kevlar in the leather, right? It's the same thing I have with the Flash. When they took away the leather costume, and I understand they did it for the actor to make it more comfortable and blah, blah, blah. The idea of him being in a leather suit made sense to me because people on motorcycles wear leather. So
there ain't nowhere you're going to tell me John Wesley Flash costume look better than.
Oh, I'm not saying that. No, I'm talking about Barry Allen's. I really like his first couple of seasons, and I liked the season 4 when they went super bright red and he fought that stupid samurai and all that shit.
That's the thing. That's the thing, though. Like with the Reds, though. See, this is another comic book thing. But Barry's Reds are darker. Wally's Reds are brighter.
I just think the leather suits were better. As soon as they put him in this weird, like it's the same bitching I did with the Black Panther suit. The one in Civil War looks really meaty and badass. And then they put him in like this weird onesie spandex looking thing. And I go, man, like if you actually get really fucked up, like I just don't buy it. Like the movie is telling me you're not going to get hurt, but I just don't buy it looking at it.
But Kevin, the thing that I like about that is Kevin Feige, when he stated that, okay, you know, I know these characters and stuff like that, and I want the fans to be excited when they see them. By you giving them different costumes every time we see them is respectful to the comic books because they often wear a lot of different costumes,
like getting up stuff. But I'm saying making it meaty or like do that because we all know why they went with the nanotech. They did it so that you could see the actor's face all the time, which is kind of lame to be honest. But I get that
Black Panther was wearing his mask when he was fighting. It's not like, you know, that his face was exposed all the time.
No, but it's so you can take it off so he can say something and then put it back on immediately because you can't have him.
But he also talked with his mask on too, though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's so you can do it.
They can do more FaceTime. What he was saying.
You can just do it
versus the helmet.
Because like I'll say, like when I watch Civil War, because I really hate the Power Ranger remake film. It's fucking atrocious. When I saw
you talking about which one?
The newest one with Elizabeth Banks is fucking Rita Repulsa.
Look. I thought it was cool, but I'll tell you this though, because I have seen 17 years of Power Rangers, I still prefer that over the new one.
Like the Ivan Ooze movie. I'm sorry, it's like the Batman and Robin of Power Rangers, and I fucking love it.
I cannot say that because I'll tell you why. Like Batman and Robin is disrespectful to Batman, but the Ivan Ooze thing, it's not canon to the series.
Yeah,
but the characters still behave in the way that they're supposed to.
Well,
That's
all the same actors doing exactly something that just feels like it's not really canonical with anything, even though they end up having.
Well, it's not though. It was just done to get even more people to like it, which happened. And then when they watched the series,
they end up fighting the birds and all the bullshit people in the actual show.
No, they have that, but I'm talking about there's no Dulcea. They got their ninjetti powers from Ninjor. They did not go to planet Phaedos and get them from Dulcea. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. You mean Whistle Lady who went from like throwing them with her hands to like they were on bars? I cannot.
When Adam was mad that he was a frog, and then she was like, "Yeah, like the one you kissed to get a handsome prince," and he was like, "Hell yeah, I got kissed by Dulcea."
I thought that was fucking awesome.
Hell yeah, that was awesome.
I enjoyed the shit out of that, but it was really stupid. But like when Black Panther pops his helmet off in Civil War, I'm like, that's what Black Ranger should look like. I want a fucking Power Ranger film like that. It can be done. It can be done, and the suits can look cool. I'm sorry, I'm fucking.
I wonder why
they have like 4 of them though. They had like 4 Power Rangers films. They had the Mighty Morphin one. They had the Turbo one, which was canon that led into Power Rangers Turbo.
I hated the fucking Turbo one. I hated it. I felt like I thought they were trying to rip off Beetleborgs when they made the kid into a Power Ranger.
Did you watch the season Power Rangers Turbo?
Yeah, and I didn't like it. I did.
Okay, where did you stop on Power Rangers? I'm curious now.
After the after the Space Rangers crossover with the Turtles.
Oh yeah. Turtle time when they teamed up. Oh hell yeah!
I watched Masked Rider like a motherfucker too. People don't even know about Masked Rider and fucking VR Troopers and Big Bag.
Yeah,
dude, I watched all that shit with the Jay Leno ghost in the. I watched all that shit, dude. I watched it religiously. I'm just
Beetleborgs.
Hey, if I see a teaser trailer. If I see a teaser trailer tomorrow and it's like Masked Rider, I'll be like, oh shit, I'm getting my ticket right now.
Rider is dope as fuck. I'm just throwing it out there. Also, Danny, fucking you just got so many nerd points in my eyes, man. You like leveled up in
my favorite cartoon. I don't know if you remember. You remember the Mighty Orbots?
Yeah.
What is it?
Mighty Orbots.
Yeah.
It was 5 of those robots, and they could join together.
Wait a minute, you said you elevated Danny. Did you like have him on the bottom of the list, or what was happening?
First of all,
that's like my all-time favorite cartoon back that time.
Guys, I'm getting triggered from the chat. Matt's Mama Bear says I got a leather fetish. First of all, I might. I don't know that. Second, how did we get on Power Rangers? I don't know, man. Shit happens.
Just organically, we flown the conversation.
Yes, exactly. And I'm pretty certain that on this particular panel, you throw some Power Ranger questions up, I'm gonna be able to answer them as long as they fall within the first 17 years. Because
I stopped watching Power Rangers when they had like the magical wizard powers or whatever.
Oh yeah, Mystic Force.
Yeah, that's when I stopped.
That was the first time no, it was Dino.
No, Mystic Force when they had the fucking magic and shit. Yeah,
no, I'm talking about when they first brought Tommy back again to be another.
Oh, you talking about Dino Thunder?
Yeah, I heard that was all right.
Look,
there was one with 3 of them. They only had 3. They're like Ninja.
I will tell you this: the best team ups in Power Ranger history happen after Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. When you get like 12, 15, 20, 30 Rangers, you're like, oh my god!
Remember they had all the Red Rangers all lit up, and then
that was the one that made me go. Because look, I randomly found out about that, and I was like 10 Red Rangers, and then I saw Tommy and Jason. Some of them knew each other, and then some heard about. And I was like, this shit is connected. I thought they were just random things that had nothing to do with the original.
Making time or something, didn't they?
Well, what was that doing?
I said the Red Rangers, didn't they go back in time so all of them could meet or something like that?
They went
Time Force or some shit like that.
I think it was Andros, one of the Red Rangers that he had went through, and they went and took the different Red Rangers out of their place and time, and they're like, there's a huge threat. We got to go deal with this shit, otherwise the world's going to be fucked up. And then they were waiting on Tommy, because he's the one that assembled everybody, and then Jason was like the last one to sort of come like, yeah, you can't do this without the original Red Ranger. I was like, yeah.
The last Morpher I bought as a toy was the Neo Rangers, which I thought was a cool thing, but it was kind of lame. I liked the Turbo Morpher was cool, but I didn't like the storyline.
I like the White Ranger when Tommy had that damn.
Yeah, the Saba. Oh shit!
I got the Saba card and the Dragon. I'm sorry though, Green Ranger is the fucking most badass.
Oh
ever.
Yeah.
I got tired of that shit, man. Stop, man.
Oh shit!
Mecha Godzilla. That could. I almost had Mexican Godzilla. Mecha Godzilla.
Hey, John, man, that was
shit, boy.
That was the thing, man. In fourth grade, that's what we did. During recess, we had a certain number of kids, like they're going to be the putties and we're going to be the Rangers. We were just fucking each other up on that playground. It was fun.
Black kid has to be the Black Ranger, and the Asian kid has to be the yellow one, right? That's
that's sort of okay. Look. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm Hispanic.
I'm not gonna lie. We had that discussion. But damn near everybody wanted to be the Green Ranger or this, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, okay, not everybody could be the damn Green Ranger. Only one.
Theme song, go Green Ranger,
go do.
We are losing.
Oh shit! And then the way he beat the fuck,
like real talk.
Oh man, what the hell? Like, and then the way he went into that command center. And then Alpha was just like Tommy, and then like fucking Tommy was like, and he just like put that disc in Alpha's back, and he started malfunctioning, and then Zordon was like, Tommy, no, and he was like,
you get the fuck out of here,
right.
I like classic. It's so bad. Like it's like, have you gone back? Like I used to watch all the stuff that like I kind of tell myself it was only fair that I went back when Netflix put on She-Ra and He-Man that I watched religiously as a kid, had all toys, and Power Rangers.
The new She-Ra is so whack. Oh my god,
shit,
I
dude!
love that, and I wanted to cry.
What the hell? I feel, man. See, you didn't got me into this mode. Now I feel like it's morphin' time. Like I just want to get into that shit. Like
shit, man. Like I'm just like, look, like my whole deal is like I went through and watched all that shit again. Don't get me wrong, it's kind of funny to laugh at, but fucking hell, I actually sent a text message to my parents going, "I'm so sorry." Like you had to watch this shit like all like Saturday morning and shit.
No, fuck that. I am not apologizing for nothing. I had the costumes and shit. What the hell? The Gold Ranger. Oh, shit.
I'm gonna tell you what my guilty pleasure is, boy.
Bring it.
I know this is gonna hurt Terrence, but the old like 1970 Spider-Man, I can watch that.
Come on.
Wait. Danny, that's
what I grew up on, man. I ain't had nothing else.
What I like the cartoon of the Spider-Man.
The 90s even not solid. To be fair, it's a fucking fun watch, but damn,
the live action.
Oh hell no. The one where he had like a rope that was made out of semen or something? No, fuck that.
Man, I love that. That's all. Nicholas Hammond was Spider-Man.
I wanted Danny, I don't know what it was, but I wanted him to die like every episode. Like the
live action Spider-Man, the live action Shazam. I used to watch
Shazam. Hey, Shazam, I could get down with Danny with all the okay, kids, and then had that little music playing that he would tell you a lesson.
He'd ride with Mentor in that truck. So shit, everybody should know who the damn Shazam is. They got the Shazam insignia on the front of their truck.
Danny, man, like I like how with the the elders and shit when they would talk to him, like, that kid is struggling. You will run into a kid that has problems socializing. Figure out what to do.
You got old elders fleet.
Oh my! What the fuck, John? What are you doing? You can't do that to me. What the fuck is? What the fuck? I'd like you to meet Saba. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's like what the hell, John.
What?
John, that was amazing.
Dude, my girl got me.
What the fuck? John, that is amazing.
They're the legendary ones, dude. Like the coins are actually metal. Like
What
half
the fuck?
metal.
Like, John, zoom it in.
I'm like, what? I got it, man.
What the fuck?
And it came with all the coins.
It's upside down. It's upside down.
Yeah, I know. You know, that always fucked me up because I always thought it was this way because the button was on this side.
What the fuck? That is a legit take you to see Zordon Morpher.
Yeah, the coins are metal. I got all of them, and my girl got me the helmet because I like.
What the fuck? Like, it's like a legit, like, you put the helmet on and then you could teleport and go to the command center, huh?
Oh, it's so dope, dude. Like every now and then I take the coin out just so I can do the thing, so I feel like I have the crystal.
Oh hell yes, man! I need to talk to him. I want to be one of the new Rangers on the next season. I've been
watching TikTok lately, and some guys they got the Iron Man and the War Machine suits they can put on the real life. You see those yet?
John. Before I forget, when I was doing Taekwondo, one of the guys that came in, he was the stunt double for the Green and the Red Ranger. He did a lot of their stunts. So I got to train under that guy for a little while. That was pretty interesting.
Dope.
So now that you have that helmet, John, I feel like I
gotta hit the gym to get my fat ass in some spandex or something.
No, negative, John. I'll just send you a drop of my blood and it'll transform you immediately.
I'd be just like Captain Marvel. Fucked up.
John, you can't tell nobody the secret. If they say, how did it happen? Just say you trained hard. Don't tell them you took none of my blood.
That's all right. It's all right. Nah, good thing I lost my virginity, because fucking hell, man.
Well, what the hell you mean? It's morphin' time. You get all kinds of pussy. You just say that like in the club and
Triceratops. I can stab you 3 ways, baby.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah, Danny. So
sorry.
So Danny, how would you feel if you like randomly had on the Power Rangers and then the helmet came off and you saw me? Do you feel you would be happy that your boy is a Ranger?
Oh yeah, sure.
Now, Danny, what color Ranger would you want me to be?
Purple.
Purple? Why purple?
Because he's
start singing a Prince song.
Oh shit! What the hell?
Raspberry beret. Just gonna be running around, be like,
you say, Shazam! You wore a raspberry beret.
So you want me to sing before I beat up the bad guys?
Hey, yeah. Zach fucking danced before he beat up a putty.
Yes, I know hip hop keto and yeah, I remember.
Hip hop keto.
Yo, man, Zach was tearing that shit up, man. He was moving them putties. They didn't know what to do.
Fucking battle axe that turned into a cannon.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Everybody's like, "Oh, Red Ranger's best." Don't get me wrong. I like Red Ranger only because of the Zord. His fucking weapon was lame.
Okay, but technically, Jason, before Tommy got there, was the best, because when Tommy got there, what happened was they had a martial arts tournament and it ended in a draw. So Tommy and Jason actually have equal fighting.
Well, don't forget about Jason always having to do the fucking bench press.
Oh yeah. They had a competition with that, and then they also had Tommy and Jason when they went up against some ninjas and shit for a tournament. That was pretty cool.
And dude, I'm sorry, I love me some bad guys. The putties.
I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these creatures? Yep, start fucking they shit up like.
Oh, and Amy Jo Johnson, by the way, Pink Ranger, still super bae.
Yes, I have spilled tons of semen to her, but I mean that's a different topic though.
Don't get me wrong, I also love Trini, but you know, I don't want to talk ill, so rip. I love you. Trini was.
Yeah, whenever something happened to Kimberly, boy, I remember I was yelling at the screen, Kimberly! I was just mad as hell. I didn't want nothing to happen to Kimberly.
Don't do it. He's even green. He's green with envy.
Man, what the hell? Like, if I'd have went up in there and fucking Tommy would have been talking. Oh shit!
What the actual fuck are we looking at?
Yep, Danny on point. Yep.
Oh my god! Look at that helmet.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's Star Trek rock. We're gonna kill the lizard man.
Yo, that's my shit right there.
Actually, the Breaking Bad pilot.
Hey, Danny. Did you ever check out my playlist where I was reviewing the show? Like, I still got to review the rest.
Spin around like Wonder Woman.
Dun, dun, dun. Yep. Dun, 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 dun. Marvel. Dun, 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 dun. Yep.
So was that supposed to be like 15-year-old Billy Batson, even though he was played by like a 40?
Yeah, I like how he was like Hispanic and then he turned Italian. Like when it
that almost like Bollywood.
That's what I grew up on, bro.
I don't know what like. So Danny, did you ever see like any of my reviews on those episodes? Like I was reviewing them for a minute, but I gotta back to him.
There's this white guy that used to review him too. Older white guy, boy, he's funny with. He used to be saying all kind of crazy stuff.
I've decided that I think David Frank played Tommy.
I find my other one.
Should be the representative for every like organization ever.
Oh shit!
Ostinator goes, Tommy is my favorite Power Ranger, whether he is Green Ranger, White Ranger, Red Ranger, or Black Ranger. I'm like, that dude's been every color under the sun.
Yeah, let's see. Let me try to remember. He was the Green Ranger, he was the White Ranger, he was the Red Zeo Ranger, the Red Turbo Ranger, and the Black Dino Thunder Ranger.
Oh, and I think there are rumors that they want to bring him back for another series.
Hell yeah.
Well, no, you forgot. I'm retarded. Never mind.
Yeah, like and like, you know,
like,
if I ever get a part in the Power Rangers, that's gonna be my first request. I want to fight Tommy.
You would be the first. You'd be the Mace Windu of Power Rangers.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's not a bad mantle to hold.
No, it's not, because Mace Windu was beast as fuck. That pretty much guarantees that I'm gonna be able to beat the shit out of Tommy until he like does a move in the end to finish me off. Yeah.
Well, do you know why Mace Windu would kill you? Because he's too dangerous to be kept alive.
Exactly. Yep. They're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right, Terrence. This is the part where Tommy gonna kick you off the balcony. I'm like, hey, I will kick myself off the balcony. Let's roll. Action.
I'm gonna have the hot take because everybody else is doing it. Prequels are better than the sequel trilogies. The sequel trilogy sucks. So
you know what's interesting about that? That might be true, but I still don't like the prequels. But like, I'll say that
they're better. They're better.
I will say this. This is where I tell you I'm fair with my critique. I will say that the prequels are better written than the sequel trilogy. There you go.
Yeah. Even if you don't like what they did, midichlorians are bullshit. I get it, and
God.
And it's kind of boring. I get it, but that's subjective, and there's stuff going on. Some of the coolest lightsaber duels ever, though. Come on now.
Yeah, and it's funny because you know, there's definitely ways that we can make it even better. And
favorite lightsaber duel.
Oh, that's just Darth Maul with between him and easily by far, no comparison. None.
Most people really like the Revenge of the Sith one. I think it drags on. I like it, but it drags on.
I like it too, but it's just the Darth Maul fight in terms of versatility with the moves is better to me, and I want to see like lightsaber fights that I've seen on YouTube by amateurs that have even done better stuff than the Darth Maul fight. I want to see that kind of stuff from the professionals. Like get that.
I don't want it too overt. Like it's kind of annoying because I felt like Force Awakens almost got there with lightsaber duels. I didn't want them to be overtly flashy like the prequels, but I also didn't want them to be lame and like really just kind of whack.
No, I want to see a bunch of flash. I want them to spinning that shit behind their back, flipping it through the legs, kicking people, punching, chopping in the throat. Oh my God!
Bollywood Spider-Man? What the fuck is this?
What? Oh my God!
Look at this dude.
Oh my God, that is worse than I remember. Oh my God.
Why does he have black eyes?
This is so disrespectful.
Oh God! Don't steal my name.
Wow. Oh my God.
Nicholas Hammond is not the son of the guy who made that.
I am sorry, Tom
Look,
Holland.
black
I am
females
sorry, Toby.
don't exist. How? Oh, no, black actresses aren't in film.
You know what, Danny? Nah.
Why does it sound like
Oh my.
Spider-Man Shaft?
Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
get copyright for this anyway, so I'm going for everything today.
No, I
everything.
Did we all notice that they had like a fucking pseudo Shaft theme for fucking?
Yeah, they were just like, we're gonna try to make this. We're gonna try to make this.
That was the 70s,
trash.
man. That was the 70s back then.
No, I know, but Danny, man, it's like I felt like. Oh my God, that is so much worse than I remember. I'm gonna need to. Oh,
I'm breathing. I'm breathing
oh
it out,
man.
guys.
Man, yeah, younglings, any of the young viewers, y'all got it good because like that would have been the height of your entertainment, boy.
Oh my Lord, what is happening to life?
Oh man. Oh
no, I just like, man. There was some shit. There was some shit in the prequels. I'll give you, but fuck, they dropped the ball all over the place. And OT is strong.
All right. So John. So Danny. So Danny, you seriously wanted me to be a Purple Ranger? Do you feel like
fucking Purple Ranger?
Okay, John. What about you? Like what color? Like what color Ranger would you want me to be?
Want you to be?
Yeah.
Ooh. Red.
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 Why do you feel red?
I would go because you always talk about the idea like you started your training because you were a rage-filled guy, and the color red is passion, anger, and love. And I feel like your character and you yourself embody that weird like triangle of trying to fix your personality and better yourself constantly. And I think red is very powerful, and I could see you wanting to be a leader.
Yeah,
like, that is that purple stuff, bro.
Well, I mean, how do you feel, Danny? Like, John, the way he said that why I should be red, I'm like, yeah, I think that would be my defense to the studio of why I should be red.
My favorite Ranger was a White Ranger, so that's what I
well, that's because you're racist, Danny.
No, I ain't got shit to do no racist.
You just want everything to be white. That's why you're wearing a white shirt.
Okay. So Danny, you would want me to be a White Ranger. That's what you're saying.
I said I like the White Ranger the best.
As long as you're
that's what I'm saying.
Have a point on it, I think you'll be fine.
Okay, but do you agree with John with the whole Red Ranger, or are you sticking with the purple?
I didn't hear him. I was in Phantom Zone just now.
John, explain to Danny why you feel I should be the Red Ranger, and then I guess Danny can.
Brad probably already thinks I'm a giant homo. Okay, I think the color red really symbolizes like anger, power, and like love. And I feel like through all the stories Terrence has had, that seems to be the things that really drive his character and the things that he deals with on a daily basis. And he either thinks he should be a leader, or maybe he can earn the status of leader. And I believe that red really encompasses all of that. And that's usually why somebody like a Jason or a Tommy get to play around in the red suit from time to time. So
that makes sense.
That's how I roll. Colors mean stuff. Everybody knows that as an artist. Colors have
and see the
loyal color, by the way.
Oh, I am very loyal. I feel like betrayal.
Royal, like monarchy.
Oh, royal. I got you.
Like kings and queens and whatnot.
Got you.
Which I would never take that away from you as well. But I feel like colors should, because I always like the fucking stupid trope that the show did. It's so lame. Like, how did you not know that they were the Power Rangers? That the assholes wore the exact same color every fucking day, corresponding to them.
Hey, I'd have been like, hey, that's just a group thing. I would have never guessed that they were the Power Rangers.
Who you calling a youngling, Mads? I'm not having it. My
Oh
hair.
yeah, I had said youngling. So
I was gonna say my hairline's like 60, so I'm not having it. Nothing youngling about me.
well,
Maybe.
according to the humans, if I were to die tomorrow, it'd be considered that I died young. So,
And Austinator, you don't need to tell people that you like the prequels better than the sequels because everybody should. If you like the sequels better than the prequels, I mean,
I do love me some Ray, even though
no death sticks. Go home and rethink your life.
I do love me some Ray, even though her character doesn't make any sense.
Way to tap into the hidden strengths that all humans have. Then an accidental overdose of gamma radiation interacts with his unique body chemistry. And now when David goes angry,
Lou Ferrigno, boy.
Metamorphosis.
Never heard of him. Bill Bixby.
Yep.
Bruce Banner, we got Bill Bixby.
The creature is driven by rage and pursued by an investigative reporter.
And he's really mad that he can't go to the gym every day.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Thank you. Tell the humans they don't get it.
An accidental explosion took the life of a fellow scientist and supposedly David Banner as well. The reporter thinks the creature was responsible.
He gave a description to all the law enforcement agencies. They got a warrant for murder out of him.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno.
David Banner can never prove he or the creature didn't commit. So he must let the world go on thinking that he too is dead, until he can find a way to control the raging spirit that dwells within him.
You know, it's just one of those things because I feel like that music.
I love that show there, boy.
That doom doom doom. I feel like they gonna play that sad music every time I have to fuck somebody up on the street. They're gonna play that.
Like you seem like the dude who wants to like. You're like, can we go back to the 80s so I can carry the boombox on my shoulder? So like when I kick somebody's ass, I get to have a fucking theme song.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Like what did they say? What you said, Danny?
There's the episode when Bruce Banner fought there was an older guy who was the very first Hulk, but he was evil.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
Santa.
ever seen that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say I watched all of it when I was a kid. There was a couple of movies too, right?
It was like the Death of the Hulk was the last one.
Right.
The Return of the Hulk was the first one, and the Trial of the Hulk was the first one.
Okay, yeah.
There's one showcased Daredevil, one showcased Thor, and the last one is when he died.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
They did check out a show too called The Grimm. You ever get a chance? I think it's on Netflix now.
Yeah, I think we spoke about that. I had seen a little bit of it, but I didn't get into the whole thing.
It mainly specializes on all the different myths and legends and Kitty Shore.
Did you say that you watched Midnight Texas at all? Like,
yep,
was that
I did. I watched the first season, not the second season.
How come you didn't get into the second one? You
I kind of just lost interest, but lost track of it when it's coming on and stuff. But I saw all the first season and stuff. But the second season I knew was a little bit crazy too. You
know what might have happened? Because I remember I still got a few episodes to review on that show, but I remember the first season came on at a certain time, and then the second season moved to a different time. So I think maybe that's why you lost time of it, because they switched time slots. Yeah. So.
Guys,
I liked it. I thought it was cool.
What do we like? I'm sorry, I just came in.
Midnight Texas. It's like an area where a bunch of supernaturals live and try to live in peace away from the humans.
Yeah. No, I came back and I feel bad. I got somebody on my side in the chat a while back, united, thrive here. He said Disney SW died, Star Wars died. Yeah, I agree. Only Mando can save it. I go, if season 2 does really good, because hot take, and this is the one that I get people mad at me at.
Don't do it, John. Don't do it.
Mando's really bad. It's really
What?
poorly written.
Wow. No, my heart can't take it, John.
It's poorly written, but it's fun aesthetically. I will
John.
say aesthetically, it's fantastic.
John, thank you, Danny. Sometimes in life, that is no.
No. 2 hours without going to the Phantom Zone. 2 hours.
I know. I tried. I have. It's
John. Why would you do that? Like it just you had me smiling, and I feel like it was just you were like that. You were like that villain that had the secret plan to destroy me.
I'm Icicle. No,
you're definitely Icicle. You were misleading me only to hit me with that ice shard when I'm
Mr. Icicle, dude. I am Mr. Snow. Oh. No, I feel really bad. I really enjoyed the first 2. Well, that's not true. I liked the first episode a lot. I thought the second episode was all right. They started the pattern of Mando either being a super badass or inept as hell. They forget Fob's work, and episode 4 is the most blatant showing that this show didn't know what it wanted to do with Mando, and it made me sad. And
but John, something amazing happened when I was watching The Mandalorian. I think it might have been episode 2 when I realized that I was wearing the Mandalorian armor, and that's how I knew that I was deeply rooted in that show. Like I knew. And
like you were literally wearing it at your house?
Wait, what was that?
You said you were wearing the armor like at your house? Oh, you muted yourself. What happened? Or did I lose my mind? Oh, no, I froze. Sorry. Tismed. I tismed. I'll be back. Oh, no. What happened? Okay, I'm back. How are we walking? I've never heard of it. What the hell is this? What is this?
Oh boy.
So
and Danny cheating today, man. He's pulling out the classics.
Well, you guys are going down memory lane. Have you ever seen a sci-fi show called Mantis?
An ex-motorcycle.
Where it was Mantis? It was this black protagonist who ended up in a wheelchair, and then he created a mechanical suit.
Yep.
I've heard of it.
I really like that show. I don't remember if it's good, but I really
was awesome. Yep.
I enjoyed that.
He was he kind of like an Iron Man, but he couldn't without that suit. He couldn't walk.
Yeah. So that was pretty much the trope of every episode. It was like something happened and damaged the suit. And he got fucked.
I think my bad because I was saying about the Mandalorian, how I had the armor and stuff. I became the Mandalorian. You know, I felt like, you know, I was really a part of that environment and that I wanted to help Mando protect Baby Yoda. Like his mission was my mission. Yeah. That's how it was.
Well, my whole thing is when we decided that Baby Yoda was the definitive thing that he wanted to save, it seemed like every other episode he didn't seem to care. Episode 4, he was willing, and episode 4 is what broke me. I call it the Mulan episode. It's the one that Bryce Dallas Howard, the chick from Ron Howard's daughter / chick from.
Oh, she did a great job with that episode.
It was whatever. Gina Carraro is a cool character.
Oh, I love Gina Carano. She was my first favorite female MMA fighter before Ronda Rousey.
Well, she was one that I thought could have been a really good Wonder Woman, but I didn't know if she could act or not.
She's not the strongest actress, but
She could have.
I could picture her in that
She a
outfit.
little too heavy for Wonder Woman.
No. Like no, when she's in like when she was in
I remember
MMA.
Her. I remember her because she was slender when she was in
She could have slimmed down.
She can easily go back to that weight.
I'm not saying she couldn't. I'm just saying right now, at her current weight as she is on the Mandalorian, she would be too heavy for Wonder Woman.
Well,
right
yeah,
true, but I mean, she do look good though. Like she carries that weight well.
She was in Deadpool. She was awesome.
I'm not saying she's fat. I'm just saying she's
Colossus is I'm saying this right now, Colossus. I know you probably listening from the X Mansion, but you a bitch for covering up her tit. Like that was wrong.
Real talk. Show the people what they want.
I think the perfect Wonder Woman they have her now. Gal Gadot.
I
like her accent.
I will give you 2 episodes. The 2 that killed me. Because then I read up a couple of things on the last couple of episodes. People
for what? What about Mandalorian?
Yes. Let me just throw my reasoning for not liking it. I didn't like it that much. I thought aesthetically.
Why are you playing with this, man?
No, I found aesthetically it's really pleasing. It was definitely a push in the right direction.
Let me make one point before you go.
Yes.
The reason why you might be like it, they have 5 different directors.
Oh, and I absolutely think that's fucking stupid. If you had Jon Favreau really show running, having the extra directors is fine because we've proven that in the MCU. You kind of changing up the style is fine as long as you don't change like character motivations or the way that they act. The problem is every time somebody would direct an episode, they made a character's personality and their choices really just change on a dime. And Mando is my biggest problem, is that the first episode I think is awesome. It shows him to be cold and calculating, even though he does some dumb stuff in the episode, like letting the guy go down into his armory and he just gets a hold of. He could have literally taken a weapon if he wanted to, but he wasn't going to. And people just write it off and it's fine because we just assume Mando is in control no matter what because of what happened in the bar. But then the problem is as the episodes go, it proves either he's the most capable badass ever or he's just a fucking idiot. And episode 4 was one of the first times you saw that. Baby Yoda is the most important thing that he has. And he's given up essentially the guild to protect this thing. And it could have been eaten in the bar by like that cat thing before he offers and then he just has some lady at a bar go pay attention to him. I'm like, the most important thing that you're carrying? That's really strange. So then he even considers leaving Baby Yoda on that planet, even though fobs exist that can literally track you down to literally where you are, where they had to kill an assassin at the end because they used the fob to get him there. We also have this big old speech about how he can't take his helmet off in front of people. And if he does and they see his face, it's over. He takes it off literally in front of a window with a bunch of people there.
But they weren't looking at him though. He was trying to enjoy his slice of cheesecake and the vegetables.
But they still could have walked in. People could have turned around.
John, why are you doing this to us? Why are you doing?
He was far enough.
Because I'm just bringing them up because they're not even like little things. They're like really blatant.
He was like, far enough. He was far enough in the house that you couldn't see him.
Okay, fine. Yeah, then we can pass that one. But then we have the spaceship. He has a spaceship that we have shown that is capable of kicking ass. Why are we setting up this whole village of nobodies to fight an ATST when you have a spaceship?
They wanted to fight though. Look, they wanted to teach them.
They wanted to see people die in a village. He could have just
but if Mando and the amazing Gina Carano, like if they didn't help, then maybe they would just have a problem. They need to have the defense.
But then I also love during their fist fight when Gina Carano and the Mando are fighting outside the bar. She punches her hand through a wooden plank and goes, ow. Then she punches Mando in his fucking Mandalorian helmet and fucking uproots him and puts him into the ground, and she does nothing. That thing can withstand sniper bullets. And a plank of wood hurt her hand, but hitting the most valuable metal in the galaxy apparently didn't do shit. It was really silly, and it happened in the same scene. It was really silly. And then you have episode 5 with Ming-Na Wen. Subjectively pissed off that you killed Ming-Na Wen because I love her. Melinda May. He's working with a stupid bounty hunter who has no experience or anything, and he's willing to go on a life-altering thing with him. And he left Baby Yoda again with a stranger that has droids. And
but Mando. I know they said his real name, but Mando, he's not used to that. Remember, even they had a scene where she was like, "You can't leave kids like that." So that was, that allowed him to learn, like, okay, yeah, I can't just leave him anymore. But he's not used to that.
It's the most important thing he gave up the guild to save this thing.
Yes, but he's still not used to caring for a child. Though. Look, let's use me, for example. Now, granted, I have my little experience with looking after children and stuff, but if you compare me to, say, Danny, who's had kids and raised them and stuff like that, I might do something where Danny will see me and he might be like, Terrence, you can't do that.
Terrence, right, that is an excellent example.
Why?
Just what he said is excellent. He's not even a father. I'm a father and a grandfather. So there can be some things and missteps he's gonna do that when I see it, the child may not be dead or hurt. But I'll be like, you did what?
No, he gave up his entire lifestyle for this thing, and it's also
he gave his entire lifestyle for the whole thing, but that doesn't make him an expert in child caring overnight.
But then that's fine. You yell at the thing. You don't leave him behind in the hand.
That don't make you expert, bro.
That's why, John. That's why I use myself as an example. I'm gonna do things to where Danny probably gonna just flip his wig like, what are you doing? You cannot do that. I'm like, oh shit, well, I didn't know.
With Mando's a smart person, and they say he's smart and calculated.
As am I. I'm extremely intelligent, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to make mistakes, though.
That's right. Right.
He gets shot like 90 times, by the way. Like,
look.
You didn't say that his armor is the most.
Because thing on the armor, a smart person doesn't go, you know what? I'm wearing armor, so I'm just gonna go out and get shot. Like, come on.
If that's one of your strengths,
like a lot.
Okay,
just because I'm wearing Kevlar doesn't mean I'm gonna walk out into a room where a sniper is going.
Look, to me, the thing that I like is that the Mandalorian, he does get shot, he does get hurt. It makes me care about him more because he's not this invincible thing going around that knows what to do in every situation. He knows what to do with the kid.
He's setting himself up for failure, though, constantly. And then
he is, but he also learns from each situation. He learns from it.
Oh no, he's getting shot and he's wasting his whisper bird thingies in like the last episode to kill like 2 people and doesn't even do anything. And then he's like trying to hang like devil person who's like super strong. Why don't you just fucking I don't know. It's
John, I don't know why you're hurting my heart this time. Like I don't know.
I'm sorry. I get it because this
you are looking for stuff for the sake of looking for stuff.
A lot of people they get really mad because everybody.
I'm not mad at you, John.
Chat, the internet. This is one of those.
You're nitpicking. You are nitpicking.
Ooh, no. You can call it nitpicking. It's not. I think the reason why this one gets a pass is because it's better than the sequel trilogy. 100%, I will give you that. 2, the aesthetic is there. It feels.
Let me ask you this: If it's so bad and so terrible, lazy writing, whatever the description you use, why do you watch it still?
I don't. I stopped at episode 5. I read the script and I watched reviews and I watched clips.
So you haven't seen 6, 7, or 8.
I didn't need it once I found out that apparently
no, John, you gotta watch it, John. I'm telling you, you might. Okay, look, John, If you said you got to episode 5, correct?
Yes.
Then why not just finish it off?
Because I didn't want to pay for Disney Plus anymore.
Oh my god!
No, I just didn't. I didn't want to pay for it.
Okay,
So there's so much other stuff you can bootleg. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, if you want to send it to me, I'll finish it up. But all that'll do is compound more issues, and people will just get more mad. The thing that I did is I said, and it's the same thing with Game of Thrones. I did the same thing. I binged the first 2 seasons in like a week because the show is fabulous. I love season 3. I enjoyed season 4 for the most part. And then about halfway through season 5, I fucking hated the show. Like because I had seen it so many, and every time the new season would come out, since it was only a couple of, it's like a day's worth of content, I would rewatch it right before the new season.
Unfortunately, I can't speak on Game of Thrones. I've only seen 2 episodes.
I can't either.
But see, all I am is that once the show has lost me, yes, you can give me cool moments. Like Endgame is a good example for me. There's a lot of stuff in Endgame. If you show me the clips, I'll really like it. Like the Captain America fight, or like the end battle scene, or some of those things. Like,
all right, now I know what I got to do for every show and movie that you stop watching that has a franchise or an ongoing series. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to be like, John, I'm going to be in this movie or show, so that way you can watch it.
I'd be happy to watch it with you or something. But the thing is that, like I said, the show lost me at 5. And I tried to push because I didn't really like the stuff with the Jawas, and like some of the decisions he was making didn't feel like the same episode 1 guy. And I kept seeing that trope. It was like he would get jumped by people, but then the next time it was like he could kill like 7 people in one try without even like blinking. And it was really strange to see that dynamic happen constantly. And it felt like it was because it was to push.
Well,
I don't even know what they were trying to do with it.
With that way of thinking, right? Like I could give you a quick example that I feel is very relevant to what you said. Like if I think in terms of comic book characters, there are plenty of times where they get beat up and things happen where you're like, did you forget how to use your powers? But it happens all the time. And then you get to the next scene or the next panel and they're doing good. Is that not right, Danny? That's what happened with these heroes?
But I'm going with movies. Like, can you give me an example, like in a movie where that happened, or maybe
let's look at Superman. Superman at any moment in time, whether he has training or not, he has so much power that he can literally stop anybody that he fights. But at the same time, though, he's getting
really smart enough to stop him with a rock.
No, he has been stopped and he has been defeated. Let's make that clear. But I'm saying that there are times where he gets hit through buildings and all these things that happen to him, but he technically could avoid that. But for the sake of writing, though, that's not interesting to have him off everybody in 1 second. You have to give the character some kind of trial and error.
Villain conniving. And that's why I think people really latched on to the Leonard Snart character in the CW Flash, because he wasn't another speedster. He was a guy who was trapping him or putting him in a position where his power didn't mean anything. And by doing something like that, that's where you see the third dimension of the character, the hero or the villain. And I feel like with Mando, you're seeing the plot put him in these positions versus the characters doing it. Like,
well, see, to be fair, if you render a character powerless that normally has powers, that will prove to be very difficult for the character. But more often than not, they technically shouldn't even get into those situations based off of what they can do. But again, it's just it's for the storytelling. So I feel like that's kind of what they're doing with the Mando character. You know, they're putting him in positions to where you see that he's struggling, even though he has his skills, but he has his experience.
Positions is the difference.
But these heroes do the same thing. These superheroes and stuff, they put themselves in all kinds of positions all the time because that's what they do.
I don't believe that. Okay, so here's an example. How about Doom? The Doom animated with Batman, and he had a contingency plan for everybody. Remember when Flash had the bracelet put on him? They used his power against him and things like that. But Flash did what he normally does, and he didn't do it in a stupid way. He actually made the sacrifice run.
I'm not saying that they do it in a stupid way. It's kind of like
But Mando,
when Batman goes to Arkham Asylum, there is a high chance that he's going to be attacked by one of the many villains that are in there.
like I'm saying,
and that happens.
Mando puts himself in these positions.
So does Batman. Batman does not have to go to Arkham Asylum. He chooses to go there.
But there was no reason to take that bounty with the dumbass guy in episode 5.
Now that part is fair, John. But I hope you understand that sometimes in life, John, you gotta let these characters get wrecked, and then in the end, we will cheer very loud, scream the name.
You have to justify when you.
You do have to justify it. I agree with that, John. But for some reason,
my whole thing is, I just think, no, my whole thing is because I get a lot of hate for this, and I understand it. Again,
John, you know I'm not going to hate you, man.
It's always me defending myself against the internet because I think, because again, I think we had rose-colored glasses with it. It was a lot of fun. The character is really iconic looking, has the potential to be really good. Everybody really enjoyed Baby Yoda. Again, the aesthetic was there. Jon Favreau fucking nailed it with the aesthetic. Werner Herzog is like the coolest person, and I think it was fucking stupid, spoiler, to fucking kill him off. Season 2 could really fix it, but based on like all the we're gonna add this actor and here's this cameo and this cameo, I don't have high hopes for season 2.
I do. Ooh, Cara Dune. Like I want some more Cara Dune.
My whole thing is that I gotta go with Disney made the sequel trilogy. Disney's making this. My hopes, I would rather be pleasantly surprised than let down again. That's where I'm
okay.
at.
So, Danny, can you hear me?
Danny, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So are we on the same page that The Mandalorian is awesome? Because I want to make sure I'm not by myself in this.
Yes, we are. I am a big fan of The Mandalorian.
Okay, yeah. Because at first, if it would have been you and John, man,
admin. I get it. Oh man,
he is so on that island by himself.
In my name, I must be contradictory, I guess.
John, no, trust. I understand you, and I do have a couple of issues. You know, I'm not saying that I thought it was perfect, but overall, though, like if I look at all the makes and breaks of the episode, I feel like I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I want more of it.
The first time I saw the cracks in the armor, so to speak, was in episode 2, right before This Is the Way guy, or no, I Have Spoken guy showed up.
Oh, hell yeah, he dope.
When Mando got fucking surprised by Big Fish Monster and it fucked him up, I go, how did he get snuck up on by something that weighs like easily like 300 pounds?
You know what? I ask myself that same question when I'm watching like certain sci-fi and horror movies. I'm like, how the fuck did you not hear big ass Jason walking up behind you?
But that's not what we're doing. This is a hunter guy who's considered the best in the parsec,
and John, in some of these sci-fi and horror movies, you have these elite teams and stuff. They supposed to be the best of the best. They be getting taken out like flies, and you're like, I thought they would have picked up on.
And that's why those films are bad. Watch The Predator.
I've seen it, John. Like I'm only using them as an example because somebody is beast. Just because someone is beast, though, John, you know, sometimes they get wrecked too. I mean, John.
He gets a lot of passes because people enjoy the show, and like I said, 4 was the break for me. 4 was the episode I go, this show is insane, and the 5th one was where I got subjectively annoyed, and then I'm just like, I'm good. I don't want to watch it.
All right, see now, okay, I'm gonna go to Disney. And I'm gonna make a special video. The Star Wars fans gonna think that I'm talking to them, but it's gonna be for you, John. I'm gonna say your name. I'm gonna be like, John, I'm making this episode for you. It's gonna be the greatest Star Wars thing since the original trilogy. You're gonna love it, and I'm gonna send you a special ticket for you to come to the premiere of the episode.
Shit out of it. I'll watch shit out of it.
I'm like, yep, I'm going to make sure that this episode is perfect. And if you, for some reason, don't enjoy it, then...
It's a thing. My whole thing is I don't find the rewatchability in it. as every time I watch another episode, I see more problems. It's the same way with The Force Awakens. I really liked The Force Awakens when it first came out. Then when nothing paid off, I went back to Force Awakens and I go, oh man, they really fucked up a lot of stuff.
Danny, are you hearing this? He said the rewatchability is not there, man.
With Mando? I don't think so. I think every episode gets a little bit worse the more you watch it.
Danny, this is crazy. Like
I'm a bad person. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
John is, oh man, like
I really liked the first episode, but even then, I even said there was a couple of problems there. I still can't believe he let Mr. Blue Fishman fucking walk around his ship all by himself.
See, Danny is being silent on this. I think he's more hurt than I am.
But he accidentally opened his armory in his ship. It was so insane. I couldn't believe it. I go, wow. He's like, I gotta pee. And it's like, okay. Does Fishman pee the same way, or does he drop pellets?
Man. Yeah.
Down by himself, and he's like, oh shit, I opened up his weapon inventory. Be a fucking shame if I grabbed one.
All right. You have definitely made some fair points, John, but at the same time, man, like I
love a lot of the acting. The casting is solid 100%. I think it's poorly written.
But what about like the Mando and the Baby Yoda and Cara Dune and
No, like I said, I like the character stuff. I like the characters. I like the aesthetic. I like the design. Baby Yoda, I'm a little pissed off about because I feel like they bastardized that whole thing, which was already kind of a leap. Because the Force healing stuff, the only reason why they did that was I feel like to justify what they were going to do with Rey. Moving down the storyline. Force healing is a terrible power and it fucks up everything and I hate it. It's really bad. And they don't even, other than Baby Yoda like falling asleep, it doesn't feel like there's a real consequence for healing. And when you have somebody who can heal you, it removes a lot of stakes.
Okay, Danny. So how do you feel about the Force healing scene? Like when Baby Yoda did his healing thing, how did you feel about that?
I think they had to do that to preserve the particular scene, but then that also made me interested in does Yoda species have a better understanding or a quicker understanding of the Force, and maybe is that I want to learn more about Yoda species, and the only way we're going to learn more about Yoda species is to follow the trail of the little baby. So yeah. the baby is 80 years old, and we already know that they live to be like 900. So I'm not surprised that it can use it, but we know now that it doesn't have a full understanding because every time he uses the Force, it totally drains him. So that right there shows us he doesn't have an understanding of it, but he has enough understanding to save someone he perceives as a friend from danger or trying to help him.
That's true, and he's technically also a baby too, so it's not like
just like
his mind is fully developed.
A full-grown rattlesnake. A baby rattlesnake is more deadly than a full-grown because it doesn't know when to stop injecting the poison in it. So if a baby rattlesnake bites you, you could die because it's going to inject more poison in you than a regular adult, which can control the amount of poison.
That is very true. That is very true. Yeah.
Boom! Mike has been dropped.
I'm not sure what Mike got dropped because I haven't seen a consequence of the Force healing. So
you know what, John?
I need a consequence. There's no consequence. I don't know what you're talking about.
See, this is now I know why. Now I know why there's only a few Jedi and Sith. I feel like they got into these conversations and they're just like, the hell with all of you.
Which is also lame. I hate the fact that they did the rule of two. I think that's insane. And I think
the reason they did a rule of two, if you read the EU books, it was a whole like damn army of them, but they were so cutthroat and so pushed on. Well, I'm gonna get John. When John slipped, I'm gonna get him. If Terrence slipped, I'm gonna get him. And then me and Terrence would go against you. And then if I put my guard down for a minute, then Terrence would get me. So it was like cutthroat out. So Darth Bane fooled the king. Darth Bane fooled the king of the Sith and said, look, because he had this thing called a mind spirit something. So this fool fooled him to use that power, but he got a far enough way that it wouldn't kill him, and it killed all the other Sith in that thing. And then he took over, and he made the rule of 2 because he know that would be damn fucking cutthroat if they didn't do something.
So Danny, you read a lot of the Star Wars books, huh?
I read a lot of the EU, yes.
Okay. Yeah, because
also why the Sith is so powerful, it's only 2 of them using the power, where all the Jedi is, man, hundreds of them. So if you got a power source and you steady digging into it, then your side of the fence is going to be weaker versus than somebody that's only using it when the other power sources only got 2 people using it. So that's why they're so much powerful and can hide and can do stuff. Because
so Danny, is it kind of like the Orange Lantern, how he's the only one kind of thing?
Right. That's why he's so powerful. He's only one using that power source.
So that's kind of like what you're saying. It's like in that sense.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I mean,
I like the Shazam family. Black Adam is going to be stronger than them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because all of their power, they're going to share the Shazam power. So their power is really 1/6 of what it is.
That's right. That is absolutely right. Hell yeah, that is right.
I was gone for 30 seconds. I didn't hear anything.
Okay, I was just saying that.
No, I just want to say, nerds.
Danny. I've heard of Darth Bane, right? And I've heard as much as that at one point there was a lot of Sith, but that's as far as I have in terms of information, because I haven't read any of the EU books. My information is the live action movies and the Mandalorian. That's it.
EU books are awesome. I think there should be, if anything should be canon, my opinion is that EU should be canon, because this shows you so different dimensions of different characters. But I can tell you, if you read Darth Bane and the Ruler 2, it'll give you a lot of insight on how, and because the term Darth it used to be called Lord, and it was a really old terminology used. So when he killed when he fooled that emperor of the Sith to kill himself with that forced mind bomb, whatever, he took back the mantle of Darth, because for a long time they wasn't using Darth. It was kind of like the old religion or something, so to speak. So Darth Bane, once he killed everybody and made away from himself, he took back kind of all the old religious stuff, and he brought that back. And then he got his apprentice, and I think her name was Atana, if I'm not mistaken.
So let me ask you this, Danny: if they said tomorrow that they were doing Star Wars Darth Bane, what kind of reaction would that get?
I'd be fucking ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah, buy my ticket 2 years ago.
Buy my ticket today.
So you feel like the Star Wars fans would just freak out and stuff?
Those of you who know anything about it, any EU story, I would be also ready to see.
So here's a good question that gets thrown around a lot. The idea of, if you had some money, some free will, you don't necessarily have to write it or whatever, you could put your team together. What story or type of story would you like to see be told in the Star Wars universe? Like, what would you personally want to do?
Anything Sith. Anything Sith.
Yeah, anything Sith or the Rise of Terrence, any of that, I'm game for it.
ROT. Oh yeah, don't say Rise of Terrence, because then I'd just be rot. I've told people I kind of wish we could establish. I wish the sequel trilogy would have done a better job of establishing a universe, or continuing the universe was probably the more fair thing to say. To where we could get different types of movies, because I'm a guy, I really want a horror film with Sith.
Horror Jedi film?
Huh?
A horror?
I want a horror film, like a horror, like scary film with a Sith guy hunting down people and somebody like having to go for, like imagine like a good bounty hunter trying to figure out how to stop a Sith from killing like high-end people. Really dope.
Danny, is there a story like that in one of the books or no?
Not no horror, no.
Because like imagine like, like remember that Darth Vader scene in Rogue One?
Yeah,
Yeah.
last 30
That's
seconds.
something like
Last 2
that.
minutes.
You don't actually see Vader. Like they're in a room and like there's like this group of people who are plotting to overthrow, I don't know, like emperor loyalists in a planet. And all of a sudden you just see a red light turn on, and all of a sudden people are getting thrown all over the room, things are chaotic and crazy. And then we see the aftermath, like a bounty hunter comes in and sees the aftermath, and that bounty hunter is chasing down a Sith assassin. It'd be fucking cool.
Right.
Something like that. Like I want something like that has like a different feel to it than the other movies, but in the galaxy, if that makes sense.
So how do you feel about that, Danny? Like John's idea?
I really don't want to see that.
See, I was just more if I feel like if they had established the universe and had a chance to do different types of stories, just prove that the galaxy felt bigger.
So Danny, because you said you read a lot of the EU books. Now, is it John's idea specifically that you don't want to see, or you don't want to see horror in general?
I don't want to see horror mix into the Star Wars universe. I don't think that makes sense.
Not like gory. I'm talking more just like
suspense thriller type stuff.
Yeah, something like that.
So you want a thriller movie, not a horror movie.
Yeah, I guess is probably because I just like like with the Knights of Ren and stuff, they feel really like chaotic and creepy, and they work in the dark kind of stuff. So they're like ghostly almost.
I guess if you're in the creative office, one would have to specifically specify that in terms of because you do have horror movies that are thrillers, right? But you want to tell them like, let's lean away from the horror, but just do a full blown thriller. I think maybe is what you might be aiming for.
Yeah. Do you remember in Age of Ultron? And I know, bear with me, the film's not that great. When they introduce Scarlet Witch's character, and she's doing all like creepy, and they're like doing like the like creepy stuff while she's like using her powers on people.
Yeah.
Imagine something like that. Something that just feels kind of uncanny because Sith are a little bit unhinged and like something like, maybe Darth Uchi from Rise of Skywalker.
Okay. How do you feel about that one, Danny?
You know what I mean? Like the idea of maybe watching Darth Maul going around like taking out people.
They had that in the EU books. There's one where the Emperor sends him to this prison and he can't use any of his powers. And he got to stay in there to assassinate somebody. I can't think of the name of it, but it's like a Darth Maul.
Come on, that's cool. And flickering, and you're seeing him fucking doing all kinds of cool shit that you've never seen before.
This might be a big question, Danny, but exactly how many EU books are there? Because I'm under the impression that there's a crazy amount.
It's a crazy. If you go to like a Books a Million, do y'all have that in California?
Say again.
You have a Books a Million?
Not that I know of. I mean, I know we got some book places though. We got different ones.
We go to bookstore. We got it's called Books a Million here, and
because Borders I think is gone now too.
They got a whole section of like Star Wars, Star Trek, and then you just pick whatever tickles your fancy.
Let me see, because I forget which. I know I went in there real quick. It was with some friends, and on the bottom level, there was a Star Wars section, and it looked like a lot of books. I kind of gazed at it real quick, and then I moved on. But it just seemed endless. Like I don't even think I got to look at how many books.
Okay, if you get a chance, read Darth Maul Lockdown. This is how it looks. This is the cover. You see, John?
Ooh. And
so
everybody
sends him on a mission
character
to this prison.
And if you took his powers away, he could still be like menacing and creepy. And we don't even know like the extent of what his species can do. For all we know, he can fucking cling to walls and shit. I don't know.
So Danny, you're saying for you to accept that sort of film, it would have to be done in that way?
Yep. And this is another one I read. Star Wars, Darth Maul, Shadowhunter. This is kind of like after he he sends him to kill the.
I mean, we're obsessed with Darth Maul. I don't understand how he like if Disney's gonna do shit, how are we not getting a prequel? There's a fucking fan film on YouTube that people like. I
that
don't
was
know.
amazing. That Darth Maul one.
So that one where he killed all the Jedi and he killed a young Padawan at the end.
Yeah, that shit was dope. I like that
even
one.
if you don't
Yeah,
like it.
you should watch that one with Gambit. I think I said it to both of y'all.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it, Danny. I told you that was I enjoyed it. I thought they did a good job with the characters, and I appreciated the passion that was involved with the project.
Well, the whole thing is why are we not hiring people who give a shit? It really annoys the fuck out of me because the internet fucking exists. Like you could find fan fiction writers that have been doing this shit for
a lot.
10 years
The reason for that is because a lot of times with Hollywood is who you know and not what you know, and then also they have what they call the trust system in Hollywood. So they go with the familiars. They very rarely like to take a risk on what they refer to as the unknowns, even though oftentimes the unknowns have a formula that they might be looking for. But because it's coming from me and Danny and not Bobby Totem, they're going to skip over me and Danny and go with Bobby Totem.
I'm looking in the chat, and there's over 1,100 EU novels, Terrence. And also,
oh my God, no! Oh shit! What the fuck?
He canonized it and then stole like little bits and pieces for the.
Oh hell! Oh my God!
It's so fucking stupid.
Try to go to Barnes and Nobles if you don't. You should have a Barnes and Noble. That's
there's some kind of Barnes and Noble somewhere.
They got Star Trek and Star Wars. I used to be Star Trek. I go next time I get a Star Wars book. Next time I get a Marvel book. That was my rotation. And the EU books, man, they are incredible. I love them.
God, you said 1,000 and how much now?
1,100.
Jesus,
man, there's over 1,100 EU novels.
Disney literally paid for a slam dunk and somehow fucked it up. I don't know how you do it.
That's why I laugh at Kathleen Kennedy when she said there's no source material.
Oh, dude,
what the fuck? Did you hear my reaction to the 1,100 books? Like, I feel like it would have been that awkward moment where I'm in the store and I'm like, yes, I would like to have all of the Star Wars EU books. They're gonna go to the back, keep going to the back for the next 3 hours, and they still not gonna be done bringing them.
Well, dude, that's the fucking equivalent. Like when we had Kathleen Kennedy saying that shit about the EU or like not having source material to work off because you decanonized it, you fucking dipshit. It was the same thing as when D&D, David and Dan Benioff.
That's not even counting the canon now. The canon.
Wait, hold on. So how you saying that? Not only are there over 1,100 EU books, but they have canon books that could range in the thousands.
EU and canon are two totally different.
I understand that, but how many of these canon books do you have now?
Oh, just even if you had 100, that's more than enough.
That's still oh my God, that is.
Lord of the Rings.
My friend is crazy as hell. Then I think it was maybe last year or something like that when he was like, Terrence, I'm about to read all the Star Wars books, like the EU and the canon. I'm like, I don't know much about those, but I think there might be hundreds of those. But dear God, I'm like, he ain't gonna never finish that shit. He talking about he gonna read all.
I'm looking it up right now. They say there's roughly, give or take, 381 canon novels in the Star Wars.
Fuck out of here! You can't make a movie out of 381 books.
Hell no! That is a crate. What the hell? Like. Look, man.
I don't take anybody seriously who likes the sequel trilogy. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm the bad man. I'm definitive. I can't take you seriously if you think the sequel trilogy is better than the prequels or the sequel.
My comic book knowledge in terms of the things that I've read, it's been over the course of my 31 years. And I tell humans all the time, I'm like, good luck catching up with that shit. Like, especially they keep making more stuff. I'm like, man. And then Danny, how many Star Trek books are there? Because I do.
There ain't no telling. I've never read a bunch of them.
Hey, Terrence. Just because I like to make this comment anytime the sequel trilogy comes up, ever, all time. Did you like Luke, Leia, and Han from the original trilogy? Like at all? Did you like them?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you like the fact that the entire sequel trilogy, you never saw any of those three characters all in the same room at the same time?
No, I didn't like that. No,
That's fucking insane. Like, it's insane. It's literally insane that never happened.
This is sort of how I explain it to humans when I talk about the sequel trilogy. I say the first two I did enjoy, right? I got a kick out of them for different reasons. The third one, Rise, I didn't like that at all, not even a little bit. But at the same time, the first two that I did enjoy, I still have my issues with it, but I was able to just go, well, it is what it is. It didn't really turn out the way that I wanted it to, which is unfortunate, but I just sort of took it for what it was. And then, I was thinking that at the end, the third one or the fourth one or whatever they were going to do, that it was going to pay off and it was just going to be this super epic, whoever didn't like the first one or the second one or both, that they would just feel a certain way about the sequel trilogy after having seen the third installment. But as we have seen, that is definitely not the case.
I'm very much at the point where I will no longer trust Hollywood enough to where if they fuck it up in one film, I'm never going to assume they're going to fix it in the next one. We kept giving them a pass and they kept making it worse. It was insane.
It did. This is what I would do, right? Like, let's say
Star Wars is not the only thing we've watched it with. Game of Thrones, Doctor Who, Terminator, Alien and Predator. Come on, man. Like
this is what I would do. This is what I would do, John. Like, now this would be, I'm not gonna lie, like, let's just say if they're like, all right, Terrence, from this day forward, you're gonna be in charge of the Star Wars material. Number one, I'm gonna be honest, I would be nervous about that. And I never get nervous. And it's only because I would so desperately try to do everything in my power to not upset the majority of the fan base, right? Like, if a few people are mad, fine. But what I want is the majority on my side. So the best thing that I would do, like how Danny's just like, oh shit, 1,100 books and all this other. I'm like, Jesus. But all right, look, I'd hire some people to just help me out. About, look, what do people want to see? And then we just kind of go from there. That's how I feel I would get on the good side of the fans, to sort of bring the Star Wars community back together, because right now it's in shambles because they keep doing a lot of random shit that they swear up and down people want. And then when it comes out, there's like this huge divide. So under my leadership, I would be like, no, I want the fans to be right there with me. I want them to know the ideas that I have and see how they respond to them. And if I get like this huge, no, don't do that, I'm like, okay, well, we can back off from that. How about this? So that way I can really give them a great Star Wars film. That's how I would go about it.
And I want to throw it out there because I know we got people in the chat that really like the sequel trilogy, and there was a lot of elements that could have really worked. And I think TFA did what JJ really does, keeps a lot of stuff vague, creates really iconic looking things, and hoping those are going to be jumping off points or seeds that have been planted for something to be done with. And the idea that he didn't have a follow through and giving Rian Johnson the chance to do it was a fucking boneheaded thing to do. And I will say things are beautifully aesthetic, and a lot of actors were placed. I don't know. Like, I didn't really hate Daisy Ridley. I would have preferred to see John Boyega be the protagonist and become a defected stormtrooper turned Jedi. I would have preferred that.
Well, how do you feel about when I said that, John? When I said I like the Rey character, even though a character doesn't make sense. Do you feel like, that's an acceptable response to you, that like I acknowledge that her character is ridiculous?
Yes. The problem is I don't find her to be a character. Like, they started on TFA where it was like she's a scrappy scavenger, and then they didn't do anything with it. They just said because she came from which came in the third fucking film for some reason, that she was somebody, and we all know that was a fuck up. Palpatine was
John. I hope you know when I say character, I just only mean in the sense that she exists in the movies. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, and I get why Rey was there. We wanted the female empowerment thing. John Boyega, from the interviews I've seen, he was supposed to be the main character, and then they dialed him back and turned him into the janitor. And I still don't understand why black people are not. And sorry to speak for
Wait,
you guys.
he was supposed to be the main character? I don't think I've heard that.
Yeah, he had a thing where he said I was going to play him more stoic and a little bit more like hardened and blah blah blah. But JJ said no, we're going to dial that back, because then he found out that Ray was going to be the protagonist. And I go, I think it's really strange that you made the one black character in the movie a janitor, and then you
Those are
turn.
all the novels that Ninjoid has of the Star Wars.
Oh shit, that's a lot of fucking books. Holy fuck.
Ninjoid, that is dope, because that is amazing.
But not only do you make Finn a janitor, which I think is already insulting, you turn him into a bumbling clown who's literally chasing after a white chick. And it's really fucking annoying, to be completely honest, when I really like John Boyega. I think he's a fucking solid actor.
Hey, John, that is a good point, because I'd have been like this. Ray. Okay, yeah, she don't want to listen. All right, fuck Ray, I'm moving on.
She hit him in the face with a stick the first time, and he's like drinking from like he's played for comedic laughs, and I fucking hate it. He's a defected stormtrooper with PTSD.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, John. Like you're right about that, but I guess if some chick were to hit me with her staff, that'd be a turn on thing, because I like exceptional women and stuff. But obviously after that, I'm gonna be like, okay.
You know what I mean. And then remember how we get reintroduced with him to Last Jedi? He gets fucking zippity zapped by Rose T. Or no, that's not even true. He falls out comedically out of a thing after fucking Kylo ripped his spine up with a burning cross. By the way, do you find that funny?
No,
Kylo
no.
Literally a burning cross and burns his back. And then, but he falls out of a fucking tube. And then the next time we see him, he's got water spurting out of him like a clown. That's how we get introduced to him in the second film. And then the next scene we have with him, he gets fucking tased by Rose fucking Tico, of all people.
I think
it really bugs me. It really bugs me.
I think I can spend just as much time talking about the things I dislike about the sequel trilogy as much as the things that I like. Because
I don't much to like, except
look. Sometimes, John, I can find entertainment in things that are not that good. But at the same time, I'm also fair with my critiquing, right? Like I can tell John, this is a piece of shit, but I like it, right? And I can tell you why. And as you heard me explain, like even with the Rey character, I'm like, she's not a good character at all. I think that she's poorly written, but I still was. The reason why I like Rey is because I didn't know what to expect from her. She was so fucking random. And I'm just like, I was compelled to kind of go with her through her journey until they led me to get hit by a bus.
I wanted her to be the villain. I did.
Oh, hell yeah. Shit.
I wanted her to turn villain, and I wanted Finn to have to fight her.
Oh my God. I'd have bought a Rey t-shirt if they would have made her evil. Hell yeah.
It would have been really dope. And one of my
might buy a Rey t-shirt.
one of my big things is that I just feel like they didn't know what they were doing, and it was just awful. And Last Jedi felt malicious, and I didn't like it. It felt like a big fuck you to anybody who liked the OT, and I'll just never get over that. I'm totally one of those, you can call me a man baby all you want. I don't like the idea that we already killed off Han, and I don't get to see any of these characters after 30 years together. Like, I don't get to see any of them to hang out.
That's kind of how I felt. Look, when I went in to see Solo, right? I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was entertaining, but at the same time, no, I would have rather had the film had been with Harrison Ford, obviously, right? Especially since we just got him back. But I'm like, nobody asked for that. I didn't ask for that.
I lost out on that because, one, I don't think the actor embodies Harrison Ford. Good fucking luck doing that. The best you could have probably done is Chris Pratt, but he doesn't look anything like him, which would have sucked.
I thought Childish Gambino did good as
he was awesome. I thought he was fine. I thought he looked cool. I don't know. They fucked his character, but whatever. L337 is pathetic and stupid, and they ruined. How'd you ruin a ship? They put L337 into the ship. How did you fuck that up? Anyway, I hate you, Disney. Also, how Solo gets his last name? Can it just be his fucking last name?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. But
And then in the Imperial March is actually now musically canon within the world.
Wait. So Danny, did you watch it in the theater solo or?
No.
Okay.
I watched it.
For me, I did watch it in the theater. It was pretty packed, with the exception of the first 2 rows, so pretty much practically full. Now, when that scene came up with Darth Maul, Danny, that theater lost its mind. It was so loud, Danny, which means that a lot of humans still have a lot of love for the character. They really do.
Yeah. I didn't realize that he had mechanical legs until I watched it back on the second replay.
Right.
So that's they kept that in tune with what was actually going on. So I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, I can't remember if I noticed the mechanical legs the first time around or not. I forget, but
Time.
I think at the time when I saw it, I was like, "Hey, that's cool. That's Darth Maul." I'm like, that's cool. That's what I thought.
But we get a point now, fellas. We need to wrap it up because we're going on at 3 hours. I got something going on here with Anzo. I can tell y'all later. But go ahead and tell people they can find you at, Mr. Terrence.
Oh, hey, what's going on, humans? You can find me here on Danny's channel on Sundays. We got our show Equilibrium. Mondays, most of the time as well. You know, we discuss various topics. You can find me on the Tremaine Terrence channel. You know, just got a lot of different stuff over there, and you got a lot of different playlists to choose from to sort of help you better navigate through the channel. So, you know, go over there and see if you like what's on there.
And Mr. John, tell the good people where they can find you at, sir.
You can find me with this handle on Twitter, and look up Bald Man Bad on YouTube. I'm starting to try and do some gameplay videos. I am not quick. I apologize. Apparently people want me on their streams for some goofy ass reason, and I don't do as much editing as I would like to. But go check out some gameplay stuff. I do have a secondary channel that I might share if I feel like it, where I do some it's BMB Studios. Check those out. It's some of my old stuff, like short films that I did, and like I used to do like trailer mashups for funsies, just to show off my editing skills. But for the most part, just show up on Sundays and weekly for at Operation Babel. Check out at Mike Shrews, who's the host of that show. He is kind to let me on and co-host with him, so it's super, super fun. But I love what you guys are doing. Thanks for having me on as per usual. This was an awesome conversation. You guys are the best. And fucking shout out to chat. You guys are great.
Yes, I am Danny. This is the show that we do every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Myself, Terrence, Anzo, John. You catch me later tonight on Robert Storm's show. I don't know telling what we'll be talking about on there. But tomorrow, please catch us. Myself, Mads, Chris, Terrence, Anzo. We're doing the 5 top Michael Jackson songs and 5 favorite Prince songs. So please catch that at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also on Saturdays, catch us, me and Anzo, on Square One, totally talking sports. It's nothing comic book related. But thank you all for your support. I definitely appreciate it. Please go over, if you haven't subscribed to Anzo's channel. He has 98 subscribers. He needs to get to that 100. That's his first major stump. And also, if you get an opportunity, go on my channel. Just click the playlist. You don't have to sit and watch it. Just let it run for a couple hours. I'm trying to get my 4,000 hours, and I'm about 350 hours away from getting that. So if you can help me out with that,
if we work hard enough, people, we can get it.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. But until next time we catch you, take it easy. Peace.
Give it to us, John.